All right, well, welcome everybody. Whether you're watching live, watching the recording, good to have you here. So we're going to be starting a new Civilization 4 game today. This is one I'm calling Roman Seafarers. The goal is just to play kind of a normal game of Civ4. I wanted to showcase something that's a little different from what I've done on stream previously. So we are going to run a water-based map, an archipelago map, just because the dynamics are a little bit differently there. Now, an archipelago map is a bit easier than a Pangea map or a land-based map setup, just because the AI is not very good at attacking the player over water. They're not terrible, but they're not as good as they can't threaten as directly as when you're all on the same map. So this is a little bit easier, but water maps are fun and they have their own dynamics. So we're gonna go ahead and try and show that off. So in terms of thinking about who I wanted to play, I wanted to do obviously a different Civ from one that I've shown before, and I was thinking about what would be good to run on a water map. Well, in terms of traits, I was thinking, you know who actually is pretty good to run on these setups? Julius Caesar. So Rome obviously does not have like a naval-based unique unit or anything like that, but Rome's traits are pretty good for running a water-based map, or Julius Caesar's traits are pretty good. Organized is always better on water maps because one of the buildings that gets the organized bonus is the lighthouse, and lighthouses are much better on water maps because pretty much every city is going to have a lighthouse. So there's always like a small benefit to running organized when you're on an archipelago. And imperialistic also tends to be pretty good on water-based setups as well, just because you generally are not going to have as much production capacity. And that means that being able to whip settlers is getting the imperialistic bonus when whipping settlers is pretty nice. I wouldn't say imperialistic's inherently like a great trait for a water map. Financial tends to be really good because you work so many water tiles and they're all getting the financial bonus, but I didn't want to play a financial civ again. So I wanted to avoid that. As far as the other reason I'm playing Julius Caesar is just he's one of my favorite leaders in this game. We've been doing AI Survivor in recent months, and it's always fun to watch Julius Caesar just like laying the smackdown on people in AI Survivor. So I figure we'll take him out for a spin and go with this. I'll also get the chance to show off some different traits. I didn't want to use any traits that I had done in a recent game. Like I had done an Elizabeth game, who is financial plus philosophical. We did the Hatshepsut game for the cultural push that was spiritual creative, so two different traits, organized, imperialistic. As far as the map, so we're going to run archipelago. We're going to run small because a small map just involves less cities to manage, less micromanagement. Also makes it so we have a better chance if I decide to go aggressive and try to win by conquest or domination. It's a lot less tedious busy work on a smaller map. So everything else, pretty much default settings. You do get a choice of options here. I'm going to pick Snaky Continents because this is the most interesting of the archipelago setups. Tiny Islands is really tiny islands. You rarely have a landmass with more than like 15 tiles. Archipelago gives you a lot of very small islands, if not as much as Tiny Islands. Snaky Continents is a little bit more fun. You get generally about 6 or 7 small continents with this map setup. Is the way that typically runs. As far as additional options, I saw the request for choose religions. I will put that on. No tech trading, no events, no vassal states, none of that garbage. So standard stuff that I usually put on. Tech trading is its own world. I don't really enjoy tech trading that much. I think the game's more interesting when everyone has to do their own research as opposed to who can swindle the AIs the most on the trading screen. Your mileage may vary, but I just think the games are more fun without tech trading. And goody huts are off because we're trying to minimize randomness as much as we can. Vassal states are just bad. You should turn off vassal states, in my opinion. They're just bad. So let's go ahead and get started, see what we get here. Most of you probably know from AI Survivor. The other reason that Rome's pretty decent on water maps is Rome has good starting techs for a water map. Fishing is always good on archipelago maps. Mining, not that bad either, because you almost always want to get into slavery very quickly. Like agriculture tends to be not as crucial on these maps just because there's fewer like corn and rice resources. Hunting is not that valuable on this map because there's less for like a scout to explore. So generally speaking, yeah, mining and fishing are pretty good starting techs. So let's see what we've got here. Okay, well, I've certainly got a lot of seafood resources, that's for sure. Just thinking here for a second whether this is better to move. Yeah, so a lot of fishing resources. So it looks like we're down near the South Pole right now, because I can see tundra down here. So that means if there's more land out there, it's going to be up to the north. It's going to be an island for sure. Yeah, so we must be down near the South Pole. At least we've got one happiness resource. That's nice. One other thing to keep in mind, there is about 1 in 3 odds that we have an AI on the same continent as us. If that's the case, I will re-roll a new map because I don't want to be in a sardine can with another AI. So, I don't really see a reason to move from this spot. I mean, you've got the Plains Hill, but I'd be moving away from all of these fishing resources. I don't think that comes out ahead. There's this tile. What would that look like? Just out of curiosity. That gets a Plains Hill. That might be worth doing, honestly. Because this would... The Plains Hill obviously grabs the fish, which is the best tile in the immediate area. It would be a Plains Hill. It would drop 2 of these... It would drop 2 of these, though. It would drop 2 of these, though, and it could potentially orphan the clams. Now, it wouldn't orphan them permanently, because there's clearly another tile over here to the west. You think this one's worse than the unforested Plains Hill? Well, we don't know what's up there. Tough decisions. You can't get a workboat to both sides. That's true. Oh, that's true. That's a good point. Not easy to get a workboat to both sides. So we can always put a city over here. I think the play is either in place or on this tile. The thing about moving to this tile is there's so few land tiles. I think ultimately this is probably pretty good. 1 tile south. Well, 1 tile south would pick up a few more land tiles, but I don't think that really comes out ahead. Better to have some people are saying better to have the 2 hammer tile and split the 1 east keeps 3 seafood than Moai capital. So a lot of debate here about where to go. I think this is pretty good. I do think that this is not a bad tile either. Northeast tile of the plains looks like a flood. Yeah, I think it's either yeah, there is floodplains up here. There's a river. We can see that there. Yeah, I can see the floodplains graphic. So that I think settles that it's probably better to move in this direction. I think that's right. Okay. So I think ultimately that settles this direction because we can pick up a floodplain as well. And then that leaves room for another city over here that can grab the clams. Yeah, and this open because like this can be the second city then, 3 tiles away, and then we have the food resources. Can share this tile, can share this back and forth, and then this is in the first ring. Because like let's say I put the capital right here. If I put the capital here, I can't get a second city that is this in the first ring because I'm not creative. I won't get easy border expansions. So I really need any food to be in the first ring for the second city. So like planting here then doesn't leave me with a good option to get that fish for city number 2. And the natural canal could be really helpful too. So I think that's good planning from everybody. Good advice from the chat. Glad we had this talk. Now, what do we want to name the city, you guys? And of course, we get the 2 hammer plants for the center tile, which is really good. So what do we want to name this spot, everybody? What do we think? Taking suggestions. Suez? That's not a bad call. It is a canal city. A lot of people liking Rome as well. I'm going to go with Suez, both first in the chat and a great call because we've formed a canal with our first city. And of course, we're going to start with the workboat, which is only 15 turns because we were fortunate enough to be on that Plains Hill for the two hammer plant. We can work the floodplains tile for faster growth to size 2. And now the question is it better to work a high hammer tile to get the workboat out faster? So like we can drop this to 10 turns. Yeah, so I think that what we want to do, so here's what I think we do. I think we run the floodplains for the moment because it's the best tile, but as soon as the borders expand, we swap to this tile here. I think we swap to the 3 production plains hill tile as soon as the borders pop, or this one, we have 2 of them. So I think that's the way to go. Because, let's see, that'll be 5 turns, we would do... So, let's see, we would do 5 turns, we would get 10 production, and then we'd be at 5... Yeah, I think that's the play, because we go 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, that gets us 10 production. Then we do 5, 5, 5, 5, and then we immediately get the workboat out. Yeah, I think that's the play. All right, so as expected, this is the end of the road down here. So now what's the first tech? So we've got a couple different options. We do want to get this in play early on, but remember we're not starting with a worker, so the priority to get this connected is a little bit lower. I think that the first priority is actually bronze working for slavery, because we're not going to have an immediate worker, and this would allow us to whip out workers and settlers. So I'm pretty sure bronze working is the way to go. Yeah. So I will turn around. Well, yeah, I will turn around this warrior and send it off in this direction. We do have to. Now, this is Immortal, so barbarians are a real issue, and we only start with 1 unit. So hopefully we won't have to worry too. Well, we will get animals at first, so don't have to worry about like a barb warrior spawning down here and walking into the capital. So we will get a little grace period. I think it's more important to push up in this direction. Now I'm going to be sad after all this. It turns out that there's an AI 5 tiles away in this direction, and then I'm going to have to re-roll the map. Yeah, we do have a fair number of trees to chop early on too. So these next couple turns go quickly. Forest Hill Fog Bust. More interested in pushing in this direction. All right, so now we swap over to this workboat in 4 turns. A lot of desert over here. The only thing I said is if I start on a tiny continent with another AI, I'm going to restart because I don't want to be in a sardine can with an Immortal AI. I don't think that I am though, because I think I would have already run into their units if I were. All right, so turn 8 religion founding. We do have choose religions on for this game. So Confucianism means it's probably China in this game. Well, that's nice, another fish resource. Also suggests we do need to go animal husbandry because we've got double animal husbandry resources. That's the next thing we go for. I don't think we need to push for pottery or wheel immediately. I think animal husbandry is next. Whether to go via the hunting route or the agriculture route is a more open question. Whether this is Immortal difficulty, isn't it? Yeah, okay. Just because the tech cost didn't seem that expensive. Oh, Wang Khan. You guys are saying Wang Khan. I think you're right. All right, so go back to this for 1 turn. And I think we build another workboat next for the other seafood resource. Then we can decide what to do after that. Yeah, hunting gets us archers. I think you're right. I think hunting is better because we probably will need archers for barb defense. Okay. Alright, we didn't take too much damage. I'll heal for a turn here. Alright, so there's our 6 food tile. 6 food, 2 commerce. Super duper nice. And we'll want to get into bronze working quickly. So I'll work this tile, obviously, to let the city grow, and then we'll work this tile to get that workboat out faster. Although, unfortunately, we're going to be at 4 out of 30 and then getting 5 production per turn, but whatever. No real way to avoid that. All right, I'll heal you for 2 turns. So you're at 1.9, and then send you out. Yeah, this is a decent spot for sure. This is a good spot. I mean, this is probably where an upcoming city goes. Now, the first place we're going to put a city is over here. On this tile, I think. Even though I would love to get this, this is like a better spot long term. Well, no, this isn't better long term because it would orphan that other clam. So yeah, we'll put a city here quickly because this will help keep barbs from spawning in this tiny little corner down here. This will be the barb frontier. Barbs on Immortal enter borders around turn 40. Okay, so we need to be ready to have archers by around turn 40. That's very helpful. All right. And I was a turn slow to do this, but hopefully that won't be too bad. All right, wow, fish galore. Wow, okay, well, city there, city there. Might as well start putting the markers down right now. Because we know that's where, I mean, it doesn't really matter what's in the fog. It's the only way to get these fish in play. Or, I guess technically we could put a city here, but then the fish wouldn't be first ring, so that's probably not worth doing. It's a lot of fish. Two fish, too furious. Yeah, well, Sid Sushi's a ways down the road. All right. So now we're going to go hunting. Animal husbandry, I think, is next.
In his death, all things appear fair.
I'm trying to keep the warrior on the forest, just in case there's a lion or something lurking out there. So Islam is the other early religion. Probably either Saladin or it could be one of the Mongol leaders. I think Saladin's likely, though. Why not go for 3 fish in the second ring? Because it will that city will be too slow. Like, if we have to wait for a monument to be built and then borders to expand, the city will... It's just too slow starting. Civ's all about the snowball, so you don't want to waste time like that. So I think I'm going to revolt when into slavery when this workboat is finished and moving towards this clams. I think that's the turn to do the revolt. And then we'll probably whip a... Do we want to whip a worker or a settler? The settler is a little bit risky, but to have no unit defending it, but I'll have to think about that. So this is a dangerous move here. All right, it worked out. There were no barbs right there. So this looks like another spot for a city, probably on that hill tile, because we want to get the clams in range. All right, so next up, I think we need a warrior, honestly. Let's get one warrior, and then maybe we whip out the settler, because I don't really need the worker just yet. The only thing the worker couldn't do anything if I finished it. So I think maybe we do settler before worker. That's a really rare thing to do. Whip workboat into growth to pop 2 into worker. Oh, that's right. The worker could chop. Never mind. Worker can chop. So I think we do want to get... We'll burn this turn going into slavery, Civic. I do want to see what's over there. Okay, nothing. So we'll revolt. Oh, there's a lion right there. Okay. Alrighty. So I want to work those resource tiles. Now we have like crazy high food surplus. We'll probably have to toss down a garbage city down here just for the furs, just to get extra happiness, because we will need that. But working 2 tiles that have 2 commerce is also nice this early in the game. Like, that's a pretty big increase in terms of research. How many land tiles does the map have? Good question. We can see here. Land 531. So 531 tiles. Start the worker now. Oh, because the city will still grow. Wait, no, it wouldn't. No, we want the city to grow to... the city should be size 3. We don't want to start the worker... we want at least 1 turn of production in here. We could build it at size 3. So this would be a good map for Great Lighthouse. On high difficulty, though, it's always not the easiest to get wonders. Alright, so... So we can do 6-turn worker, or we could just slave out the... Honestly, we could just slave out the worker instead. And keep growing. I think that's better. No granary. So by the way, what's the... So the settler's a 2-pop whip. I think we push growth and then 2-pop whip the settler and then... No, but no, the worker could chop. So the worker is better to get out early at first, isn't it? Yeah, no, we push growth and then we can slave the... Then we can slave the worker out. Because we do want to have someone who can get out there and chop, since that'll be useful. Yeah. And we have a good candidate for city number 2. This one right. This is our city number 2 candidate right here. Because it'll be able to borrow this from the capital and then also pull its own clams. Also, the capital will hit third ring borders around turn 50. So it'll then pull in the other clam for the other city. I'm just trying to think the most efficient way to do this because it's kind of an unusual opening. Yeah, I definitely want to get out the worker. But is it better just to... I think the whip should be... No, I think the whip should be safe for the settler. Because I get the imperialistic bonus on that. So maybe we build the worker, and then after that we grow to... Build the worker, and then after that grow to size 4 and 2-pop whip the settler. I think that makes sense. And then we also can chop. Then we can chop out the workboat for this city, so it doesn't have to waste its time building it. Okay, so we're gonna go hunting, animal husbandry, and then afterwards, I think we need to try to get wheel pottery, just so we can get granaries in play. I think agriculture we can skip for the moment.
If you chase 2 rabbits, you will lose them both.
Oh, I was moving to dodge the lion and I moved next to a panther. Well, I've got the defensive bonus, and you do get some bonus for animals. So, yeah, I would prefer to use my whip on a 2-pop whip, not a 1-pop whip. I don't know, maybe. I'll think about it. So hopefully we'll get lucky and win this battle, because that would allow me to take Woodsman promotion. Alright, so how close was it? I had 82% odds to win. So for the moment, I'll fortify here and heal up before heading further north. Oh, wait, well, Zulson, I can't 2-pop whip because my city's size 3. There's no way I can do a 2-pop whip at size 3. 2-pop whip needs 4-pop, so that's not going to work. No, I think I like building the worker, and then once the worker's out, growing to size 4 and 2-pop whipping the settler. I think I like that more so. But I do want to get that worker. I mean, it's only a 6-turn worker build. It's not exactly a slow worker. But every turn I don't have a worker is a turn I'm not, like, chopping or what have you. And then we'll build warriors while growing to size 4, because we do need another warrior. I mean, we don't have to worry as much about barbs. If we can get if we get a city here, and then we just put like a warrior down here to fog bust, we're relatively safe. They can only come from this direction. And like this guy is helping to fog bust a bit, but we are going to need to get archery soonish, just so we have a unit that can deal with barb archers, because warriors really don't deal with that. You do get the imperialistic bonus for settler chops, that's correct. So that warrior's at 1.7 health. Alright, well now I think it's time to move, because there's a lion here. I did move out of the forest. Also the question, what to do first with this guy. So I think the first tile to chop is this forest tile, because it opens it up for a mine afterwards, and that can be useful. Like, my city's going to hit the happiness cap, and then it won't be able to go further, because it's low happiness. Well, wait a minute, but I want to be in a position for animal husbandry, so I should move here first. I was thinking to chop this tile, but then I'm further away from this. So move here, chop this, and then you're right next to the cows. I don't know why I'm struggling to think of that. Immortal with warriors only. Should be pretty safe. Hopefully we can just keep this stuff fog busted. All right, so we're gonna grow to size 4. Yep. We'll grow to size 4. The chop should allow it. Well, the chop will finish the warrior, and then we'll overflow that into the settler. It's slightly inefficient, but I do think I need a second warrior for safety. Like the pure economic plan here is just go another workboat, because this city's going to need another workboat. But yeah, I'm hesitant to do that because I do want one other warrior just in case there's a barb animal down here. And I want to make sure that actual barb units don't spawn. And it looks like we're reaching the end of this island. Now, we know there's more islands over here. There's definitely more land over here, and we'll be putting a city over here, I'm sure, too. So sailing will be pretty high in the priority queue as well. We'll cancel that. I can do this the other way around. I can chop into the settler, then whip the settler, and overflow into the warrior afterwards. Just finish the warrior on the turn after the settler.
Blessed shall be the fruit of thy cattle,
all right.
The increase of thy kind.
So I think we're all right. I will continue delaying archery. It's a little risky, but it's archipelago, so there's not as many barbs. I'm going to try to squeeze wheel pottery here before having to go for archery. All right, so now that we're size 4, go to settler, chop into the settler, and then we'll be able to whip that next turn. Should be able to 2-pop whip that next turn with a lot of overflow. Oh, this is continuing up a little further than I thought. And of course, the worker can start the cow pasture next turn. I do think we should get a workboat for scouting purposes. I agree. First, workboats will need to connect resources, but I think you're right. So this is Julius Caesar. Oh, bananas. And, well, I think we know where a city's going to have to go on one of these 2 tiles, because it's the only way to reach this. Like, we already know a city's going here for the clams. This is going to be fishing cities are us. Probably this is the better spot for this, but you can always dot map it later. Unfortunately needs a border expansion. Note that we do not have copper, by the way. Right, so all these cities, all these fishing villages, so we'd have to be 3 tiles away from this city. I don't know the exact spot where we want this, but we need to plant a city that makes use of this sheep. Maybe this tile. This is not much of a spot for a city, but maybe on this tile just to redeem. No, because I would want stone in first ring, I think. Probably this tile to get the stone in first ring. This is a crummy city, but it's got sheep, it's got stone, it's got an oasis, and that's enough to make it worthwhile. Don't like the clam city? Well, I mean, where else is this going to go? Or did you mean this spot here? Because this is where this settler's going, and this is not up for debate. It's going here because it can share the resources and it grabs a clam for itself. Plus several riverside tiles. Yeah, a couple riverside tiles. On the hill, well, there's not really any other place to grab this resource. I mean, I could put it here, but then it's in the second ring, and I have to expand borders, so it's the only place that gets the clams first ring. It's a low-quality city, to be sure, but it's the best way to make use of that. The problem with this spot is all the resources are in the second ring. You don't want to do that. Like, it's one thing if you're creative, but I'm not creative. I am not going to put a city on this tile right here with no tiles that are any use whatsoever in the first ring, have to build a monument, and then wait 10 turns for the borders to expand. That would be a total waste of a city. It's just too slow. It's too slow. You need first ring resources. Yeah, I mean, sure, if we're in caste system, but we're probably going to settle that long before we're in caste system. Anyway, it's far enough down the road that we don't need to worry about it right now. Just, like, if there's one thing I really, really want to emphasize... Oh, and apparently I forgot to whip last turn, so we're going to reload back a turn. I was too busy talking about stuff that's going to happen 70 turns down the road. If there's one thing I can't emphasize enough, it's that it is extremely important to emphasize cities that get going quickly. It's super duper important. You do not want to sit around and wait. So look, we get a ridiculous amount of overflow from this. 133 out of 100. We'll lose a little bit of it because we'll have to divide out the imperialistic bonus, but we should get like 20-ish. We should be enough to overflow and hopefully one turn of the workboat as soon as this is done. Yep, so there we go. There's our one-turn workboat. So now this workboat will come along and the city will instantly have a resource connected. Yeah, I mean, so like I don't want to get too far off in the discussion, but like this, it's like, okay, so this spot, yes, sure, it gets these three food bonuses in play, but it's just too slow. You need to get a border expansion and then wait 10 turns. This we can't even use until we have iron working, so it's just a wasted tile. Like, what tiles is this city? Let me turn on the tile yield indicators. What tiles is this city working when it's first founded? The only tile that's any good whatsoever is a 2 food 1 production forest. That's a garbage tile. Everything else is even worse. Like, this city it's too slow. It takes forever. It's no good. So yeah, it's a little risky, but this is the only there's only one tile where there could be a hostile unit. This tile right here. So the odds that something goes wrong are very, very low. Like I said, I wanted the warrior to be here, but we're just gonna have to clench and hope that there's not actually an enemy unit there. Would I do this in a play by email pit boss game? I don't know, because my game would be over if I was wrong about that. I'm not sure. But the timings just lined up this way. I wanted to get the workboat. I wanted to use all that overflow to get the workboat. Barb animals can't enter your borders this early. And now this warrior is going to come down here and fog bust down here. And once we have a warrior fog busting these tiles, a barb unit can't spawn. All right. So we have some great clam names here. Oh, look, there's another barb animal. All right, so we had some clam names: Clampton, Clam Nation. Those are both quite good. Which one do I like more? I think Clam Nation I like slightly more. They're both really good, though. And we're certainly going to have more clam sites available. Okay, so for you, let's have you... What do I want to have the city build? So there's no granary available for the city to work on. By the way, note we do get the trade route immediately, which is fantastic. That's +2 commerce when our whole civ is only making 13. So that's, what, 15% commerce boost for the whole empire? Eric Clampton, oh my god. We've got some good ones. We'll have a chance to use more of those. I think let's just be safe. Let's get a warrior. Put this on warrior, because we don't need another workboat just yet. We will later, but let's get a warrior for safety. Then we'll build the granary next, afterwards. Or we could also look to do a worker, because a second worker would not be that bad. This is really nice having the gems up here, another happiness resource, which we're going to need. Definitely looks like we can skip agriculture for the time being. Okay, so... Alright, so I have to work this tile, because it's the only way to get growth in one turn. But I will pick this up. Grow to 2 and then whip. That's probably the correct call here. I think that's right. I think grow to 2 and then whip is correct there. Alright, so obviously we have to turn down science a little bit. But like, remember how our beakers per turn were 13 previously? Well, our beakers per turn are still 13, even after founding this city, and that of course will go up as the game goes on. So, didn't really lose anything by founding that city. The trade route really, really helps. So why do we have a trade route here? Well, it's because we have a water connection between the two cities that is entirely within our borders. You need sailing tech to get trade to go on coast, but it always travels through your borders on coast. Like, it says enables trade on coast, but if it's entirely within your borders, you still get the connection. Even if it wouldn't be the case otherwise. Okay, so yeah, we definitely need to explore. Workboats are good explorers because they're super cheap. And we also would love to get the circumnavigation bonus too. I don't know if it's available pre-astronomy, but it probably is. And it would be super nice to get that +1 movement. Have galleys and workboats 3 movement instead of 2 is just great. All right, so we don't have wheel yet, so you just need to go chop something. And I think now I'm going to chop this tile, because then I'm in position to come over here and cottage this as soon as it's available. But what's going to be killing us is a lack of happiness. So like I said, we're going to need to get some kind of extra happiness because we're stuck right now at the default of 5, which is bad. And then this warrior is going to have to hang out in here for military police. All right, so yeah, you can... Oh, that's right, this is a hill tile. I can't get over there immediately. Well, oh well. So connect that. And let's see, now we've got growth in 5 turns. Yep, that looks good. I'm just going to see what's... Oh, there's another resource over there. Yay! Okay, now that we've spotted that, I think we can start heading back down. So, no cultural borders visible in the fog just yet. Getting the furs online next may be the best move, or quite possibly. Makes going for Great Light. Well, you know what? Our plan for Great Light, if we make the play for Great Lighthouse, we probably want to chop it. And Clam Nation, we maybe save some of these forests and just try to chop out the Great Lighthouse. Because, like, how many forests we could do? 1, 2, 3, 4? 4 forests at the minimum? That feels pretty good. Actually, 5. We've got this one available, too. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. How are we going to get those clams in the northeast? Probably put the city here. So now that we've got this land available, we can dot map. I lost those some of those markers when I had to reload back a turn, so I'll just put them down again. I'm hoping that there's some kind of seafood resource over here, otherwise it's going to be a very low quality spot. So this, in order to get the clams, we have to put the city here. There's no other viable tile, and so that then dictates 1, 2, 3. This probably, well, we're going to want a city for this resource. Oh yeah, I mean, there are other techs for Great Lighthouse. What else do you need? You also need masonry, which we'll want for the stone anyway. So yeah, I mean, we're not going to chop it right this second, but I think we can probably look at like a turn 75 to 80 range for that. This might have to move to put... this one might have to move to put the clams in the second ring, honestly. Just so we can make use of the gems. The gems are too good of a tile not to. They're important both for happiness and also for commerce. If we have ironworking, then this gets the city started with a 5 food tile in the first ring, so maybe we move that there. That would mean the fish resource we'd have to put a city on here anyway. But this would probably be like a secondary city because it needs to get border expansion to get going. But that's probably how we dot map this area, and then hopefully there's something in this corner. This warrior will come back and try to clean up that spot. We also need a warrior to check out what's down here so that we can see if there's any seafood, because the next city might be going down here for the furs. Or pop a city on that island. Yeah, we don't know. It would depend if there's a seafood resource up here. Can always change around where these are going to end up going. And apparently we found Wang Khan, so you guys were right. Wang Khan was the AI that founded Confucianism. So protective financial, this is a good map for financial because of all the water tiles. So what do we want next? I think we need another warrior. Warriors are very helpful. So this one, so you come over here. You, I'm going to send a fog bus down here. And then this warrior will be needed for military police. Because I want to see where potentially I can put a spot. That, how many more turns is my whip counter? 5 turns. Okay, so we want to be in a position to double whip, like, we just want to start another settler as soon as this runs out. Clam Nation will probably get me another worker. But I want to get another city down here if I can. Like, it helps that the settlers are super cheap with imperialistic. Maybe Clam Nation will get another worker out. Vercingetorix is a good name for a first city.
Push your shoulder through the wheel.
Alright, so pottery is the next tech, so we want to get those granaries going. The granaries are a bit more expensive. Alright, can I put this into a settler? I think I should be able to. I can always delay for a turn. Like, I can do the mine plus chop thing to delay for a turn. so that the chop goes into a settler and not into a worker, or not into a warrior, excuse me. Because I wouldn't mind mining this tile either. Gives me a high production tile to work. And then the next thing is cottage this tile, I think. Yeah, I think Clam Nation is going to build... Oh, hello, we've got an enemy warrior. All right, well, yep, time to... Archery is our next tech for sure, now that Barb Warriors are showing up. Because on Immortal, these units are no joke. So yeah, next up is an archery. An archer, with archery tech. And I'm hoping to just lock this down so no barbarians can appear down here, and then we only have one front to worry about, this side here. So we've got the jungle promotion. I think, though, we move back. You know what? Let's fortify here. We'll heal up this turn. Then we've got the 50% defensive bonus plus the jungle bonus plus 5% fortify, and we get back to full health. So we should have like 85% odds to win or something like that. I could retreat back to this tile too. Maybe that's actually a little bit safer. The odds are good, but they'd be even better on that tile. All right, I'm going to cancel your order. Working our 3 improved tiles. Note that we're working all improved tiles for the moment. Every tile's an improved tile. Working all resource tiles. So we're kind of maximizing what we have here. So Wang Khan just has 1 extra city, just like us. Obviously, our espionage points are all going into him. So we'll have demographics with him relatively soon. Or bar graphs with him. Let's see. I'm actually only 2 off the lead in food, which is pretty impressive for this point on Immortal difficulty. All right, so now we're going to go settler, I think. Yeah. And this guy has to stay in the capital to keep it from becoming unhappy. And the goal is to send this down here to grab a first city and lock down any barbs coming from that direction. All right, so we can chop this and then whip it next turn, I think. Or will that be too much production? Will that take it past a 2-pop whip? I think that actually might knock it past what I can 2-pop whip. Maybe I save this for the granary, actually. Yeah, I think I actually saved the chop for the... Well... So I think the way this works is I want to 2-pop whip it and then chop, and then I'll overflow into the granary. So I have to do that when I finish pottery. Because I don't want to 1-pop whip this. I want to get 2-pop for my whip on the settler. So we do the mine portion for the time being. All right, nice. That guy followed me. So now I get maximum defensive bonus there. Could chop it next turn at the same time you whip. That's true, but I want the overflow to go into a granary, actually. So I think I need to hold this until pottery's 1 turn away from completing. I could also, but I actually do want to mine this tile. Like, it's not like I'm just wasting a turn here with the mining. I actually do want to mine this tile, because that's a 4 production tile, which could be helpful. All right, so I should win this. I didn't even take any damage. Okay. All right, so Clan Nation just grew. So let's do a worker. Unfortunately, it doesn't actually matter which tile I work here. Yeah, we'll do the worker, and then I think we grow onto a granary next, I think. I would actually like to get a border pop here so I can have forest left over for a great lighthouse chop, but we don't have the tech for that just yet. Yeah, I mean, if there's like a crab down here, that would be utterly fantastic. All right, anyway, now that you killed that, you can continue moving down in this direction. And you need to cancel that, and now we're gonna... Okay, so we should still have a 2-pop whip next turn. This should line up nicely. Okay, so now we're gonna... Yep, so we got that 2-pop whip. Perfect. So we should get a lot of overflow from that. Yep, there's that 130. I think I actually will get the extra commerce. No, Production's good. And then add the chop, and we should be very close to finishing that. Okay, it doesn't look like there's any seafood down there, but there are a lot of furs. This poor city is going to need a lighthouse. Has a lot of furs, so that'll be trade bait for the future. Just trying to think what tile. Probably this one. Because it'll be able to share tiles with Clam Nation. I still need to move down one more tile. Oh yeah, borrow the clams. Yeah, you're right. You're 100% correct. I need to do that swap for this turn. Yeah, I can do that while... yeah, I can just run this while... Might as well have them both at size 2. Perfect. I think it is worth... Yeah, actually, that's a good point. It probably is worth settling on a fur just to get it instantly, unless there's seafood off the eastern coast. So we need to check this tile and this tile, but we'll have them obviously explored by the time we get down there, but by the time the settler gets down there.
Hath not the potter power over the clay?
All right.
One vessel unto
So
and another
do we want to go archery for safety, or do we want to go mysticism and be greedy so Clam Nation can pop its borders? I'm going to be greedy again, because that's just how I roll. All right, so there's the reason why we did all those shenanigans, is we wanted to get this set up so that the granary is due in 3 turns, and it will finish at a good time. Not ideal. Ideal is finishing the granary when the food box is half full, but still an early granary. All right, so now we only need 2 more turns to finish with this, so I will go ahead and finish that. All right, no seafood there, unfortunately. So, how soon do we want to start? Sailing plus masonry for... That's a fair point. The middle tile will allow ships to move. I don't think that is... Well, that could end up mattering, because I don't know if there's a connection through here. It's probably not that important, though. It's probably more important to found on a fur tile, just so it's connected instantly. Now, the other thing I could do is I could skip, so this is the really bold plan, but I could skip mysticism altogether, try to pop the borders at Clam Nation with the Great Lighthouse, because the capital's borders are going to expand shortly, and that's going to grab this tile and this tile, because like the capital's borders will pop in, 11 more turns? So that would give me total 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tiles to chop. That's a lot of production. This is probably the tile to found on, because it has enough water tiles to work, to not be totally useless. AI makes Great Lighthouse pretty fast, it's true. I feel like we need to at least make a play for it, though. If you put a new city on the northern clam, you don't need to pop borders at all. I see what you're saying. Pop on the northern furs. Yeah. That's true. And we would get the trade route as well. Lighthouse is... how much does it cost? 200? It's worth making a play. If we lose out on it, it's not the end of the world, but I think it's worth making a play for. So if we're going to do that route, we should go sailing first, because sailing's a lot more useful than these other things. And we seem to have the barbs in check for the moment, so I'm not feeling the need to rush to archery as much. I know that I need masonry, but I can get the lighthouse done. I can get the lighthouse done sooner. Part of the issue is the Great Lighthouse and Colossus do have prereq buildings. So like the Great Lighthouse requires an actual lighthouse, which I get at half price because I'm organized. And the Colossus requires the forge, and the AI sometimes is slow to build them. Just trying to, because like long term, this city would be able to work more tiles if it's here, because it'll get more of the furs in range. Well, actually, no, all the furs are in range from this spot. You know what? We've got to accelerate our early game. This is probably the best tile. And this means that it can actually work more real tiles, not ice and snow or whatever. So I think that that northern tile, while weaker in the long run, is still better to go. I wouldn't be shocked to miss this at all. I'm just saying I think it's worth it's such a powerful wonder that it's worth going for it. So that's what I'm going to do. And no, there were no seafood resources down there. All right, so here's another barb warrior. Do we want to try to fight him in... I think we should try to absorb this attack to keep it from heading to our capital, which is not in a great position to fight barbs. So let's move here. We've got the 50% forest bonus and then another 20% from the forest defense. So we've got a 70% bonus. So that means strength's like 3.5 against his against his 2. So hopefully we come out on top there. Now I will have the option to whip this, like next turn, or in 2 turns. That's probably worthwhile. And then finish this. Yeah, because I need to get these workers out and like pre-chopping tiles, mining tiles and pre-chopping tiles, if we're going to make this happen. If we're going to make this serious play for the Great Lighthouse. It looks like we have enough tech to get there. And then I also need to get the, yeah, so I think that's right. Are the ice furs even worth working? No, not really. Aren't they like 004? I think that that's right. I do need the, yeah, so in case you're wondering like why put a city down there, it's for 2 reasons. I thought for a second I had lost that because I've seen that animation before where you lose that. All right, so for right now, I'm going to have you cottage this tile. Just get a quick start on that. You are just going to stand here and fog bust. The reason why I'm headed for this spot is I need the happiness for my other cities. And the other reason is it just prevents barbs from popping up down here. I guess I could use fog busting, but this will help. And this will also unlock tiles for a Great Lighthouse play is the other reason. And it gets me another trade route. So it's a garbage city, but it's to help accelerate the early game snowball. And then we'll look to make a play. And it also allows me to like delay archery because like I can't really push over here unless I have archers. I don't have archers, or at least more warriors. So it's just a very safe place to put a city. Anyway, so a number of reasons. Next up, this city needs to build another workboat because this is going to be in our borders shortly. It's only 9 turns away, so I'll build the workboat. And then we'll either squeeze out another worker or to help chop, or we might get or we might have time to start on the lighthouse. We'll see. All right, so granary's done. Workboat next. All right, so and this works out really well, so we can whip this. And now I can take this tile back, and there we go. So now we're working all improved tiles again. Except this poor city. All right, so this was Vercingetorix was our name. I hope I can get the spelling for that right. It was in chat a while back. All right, here it is. Burninator had it in the chat. I want to make sure I've got that spelling right. All right, so this is going to be a more expensive city. All right, you can at least work that. Start on your granary. But now we've got the furs in our cities. And we've got that trade route, fortunately. And now we're safe from any barbs down here. So I'll move you up towards Clam Nation, which is probably going to need military police for the happiness. All right, so now we can grow and get up an extra size in terms of happiness, which is going to be very useful. Someday we'll connect these so we can use them for trade bait. Not surprisingly, Wang Khan's ahead in score, but he actually still only has 2 cities, so we're doing pretty well there. And so what do I want these workers to do? Probably just start pre-chopping tiles. I might actually chop this tile. I'm trying to think if it'll be worthwhile to actually chop a tile or not. Like, would it be worthwhile to chop one of these tiles and then work it as a cottage? How many forests do I have? So let's see, I'm going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 forests that can go into that. Now let's save them for Great Lighthouse. I'll just start pre-chopping. I've got a seafood resource to work, and I'm going to have another seafood resource to work. This city, unfortunately, doesn't get a tile to work. I'm sorry, Vercingetorix. You're just taking one for the team. The ice ball hurts the snowball quite a bit. I mean, it does to a certain extent. Do I want to swap into that? I think I probably do. I think I do for 2 reasons. One, it'll make Wang Khan happy, and it's also another happy face in this city. But do I want to... But maybe I delay it until later? So I'm just going to have you, like, move in a circle pre-chopping tiles. Yeah, very lucky but useful. Then again, I would start picking up additional happiness with Wang Khan right away. So it might be useful to pick that up. And like my workers can still get their work done even in anarchy. And I've got whip counters on both of these cities that are ticking. I actually think it's useful to spread right now. So it does not help auto spread to my cities. Well, we have tech trading turned off, although it would be a good suggestion if tech trading were to be on for this game. Maybe do it when you get to the happy cap. I mean, that's true. Yeah, well, okay, so that's a good point. So I can chop, maybe convert when I am chopping. Yeah. But that extra happy face is pretty big because, like, if I didn't have the furs and I didn't have Confucianism, my city can't get past size 5. Now I can get up to size 7 with both of them, and that's a big help early in the game. Yeah, so I'll let this run for right now. And look, the borders are going to expand right when the workboat pops out. That's pretty good. Okay. So now you can work on... I actually am going to have you work on the lighthouse next, I think. But for right now, I'll put the production into the granary. All right, so you just start pre-chopping. Hopefully I won't forget. This warrior I really don't need down here, because this city's not going to grow. So I think I'll move you out and use you for fog busting. All right, so you are back to full health. Let's see if we can find any more seafood resources up here. Yeah, that could be useful for international trade routes, but the thing is, you can probably settle this for international trade routes. Hopefully there's more good stuff over there. All right, so we've got to run, right now our break even is about 15 beakers per turn. So we're actually not that far off from having both sailing and masonry, because they're not expensive techs. This could be a very early Great Lighthouse, which would be hilarious because we'd then use it to pop borders in this city and avoid getting a monument or anything like that. All right, I'm just hoping that a barb archer doesn't start wandering in from this direction, but that's why I've got another warrior coming up here. Can continue farmers gambiting this, which I would not be able to do on a Pangea map. The fact that it's an archipelago means we have a lot fewer barbarians to worry about. All right, so we now have a cottage done, and oh look, the city's about to grow next turn. Although I might run one turn of this tile just to get the workboat done a turn faster. All right, so let's get sailing done next. Normally I would prioritize the granary before the lighthouse, but this city is going to need that lighthouse first. Fortunately, the lighthouse is a one-pop whip, so it's very inexpensive to get the lighthouse done. And the lighthouse is actually really, really significant for the city because it's going to have double clams. The clams are 4 food resources, but with a lighthouse, they're 5 food resources. Grow 1 turn on the cottage. All right. Yeah, you're just continuing to walk up to the north. Okay, apparently we really want to be Confucian. Apparently. Now I don't even have to pop borders. Too bad I can't get into organized religion in time for these chops to kick in. But yeah, let's just keep pre-chopping these tiles. Oh, and there is a seafood resource! Yay! It's second ring, but pretty much single-handedly turns this from a garbage city into a good city. Yay! All right. Yay, fish. Would it be viable to use the remaining forest around your city? Well, it could be. The big thing about Colossus is just getting the tech for metal casting. That tends to be the biggest barrier there. So I can grow a turn faster or finish the work, but I have to say this is probably better to grow a turn faster. Because this city's not even going to be large enough to work 2 tiles. So there's no need to rush out the workboat because it can't work this tile yet. It's only size 1. So that's fine. We'll finish the workboat in 2 turns. And then it'll hit right about when the city's about to, right about when Clan Nation's about to hit the next size. Okay. So what are we working on next? Like, we've got kind of our immediate priority. I think the next thing is continuing to pre-chop more forests. So let's unfortunately that the one downside to having a capital that's on a plain hill tile costs a turn of movement to move there, but I'm not going to sink 3 turns into a road just yet. That's too many wasted turns. So this one's pre-chopped. This worker's getting these tiles. How about you pre-chop like these 3, and then we'll just start cashing them in as soon as we can get there. I think we can do like a turn 60 to 65-ish great lighthouse here. Yeah, I think we can do it pretty fast because we'll just kick in all these forests. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, we can just kick in like 7 or 8 forest chops, something like that. This would be a worthwhile tile to mine as well. I agree. It's just for right now, worker labor is going into mining. Worker labor is going into chopping for the moment. It's a shame that I'm not India and can't just fast worker on these tiles, but have to go with the slower normal workers. All right, masonry it is. On we go. And masonry is not even a wasted tech because we've got the stone here. All right. So now Suez has grown again. And see, this is why I mine this tile, because this is not actually a bad tile to work. Not when I'm close to the happiness limit. All right, so you swap from the granary over to the lighthouse, which again is very cheap. And we'll probably chop that. Or we'll whip this, you know what, we'll whip this and then we'll whip it and overflow onto Great Lighthouse. Because it's 5 turns, the whip counter runs off in 5 turns. Let's see, so this tile is not in range of Clan Nation, this tile is. Let's run a turn of 0% science. All right, and now I want to come over here and like fog bust for this part of the map. What's the next city we found? Just out of curiosity, probably one of these 2, I think. It's definitely not this city because that's second ring. One of these 2. These are probably the next 2 we found. I would love to have this guy come up and like fortify around here to fog bust this area, and then this other warrior maybe like fortify here and fog bust this area. Because I'm trying to think what the next whip is here at the capital, and it's probably another settler, honestly. Because like we're at the happiness cap again. I could just 2-pop whip a settler, and it's risky to send it out there, but I can just I want to keep the snowball going, so. Alright, so chop. Street plus stone could make a play at pyramids. Maybe. I don't know if I'll have enough forests for that. Also, I'm not sure that it's that. I don't know if the pyramids are that necessary because the more so than representation. Representation would be great. Don't get me wrong, but hereditary rule is really useful for a start with limited happiness like this because I kind of need the happiness more. Would need to road through the desert. Well, no, I actually have a trade route. I would have a trade route connection to here. I wouldn't have a trade route connection to here. That border pop is very nice. So it gets that other clams in range. Yeah, I think so. Now that that's worn off, let's cram out another warrior. Or, so I could get another warrior, which is probably the prudent call here. Yeah, let's get out another warrior for safety's sake. And then I think we'll start a settler and 2-pop whip it next turn. Or I could just start the settler this turn. No, let's do the warrior first. Let's be safe. I know the whip counters run off. Warrior to be safe. I've been pushing my luck too much already, honestly. But like that fog busting helps. And I really do need to get some workboats out exploring soon too. Alright, that should be enough to get us to masonry. I just know that barbs can't, the main thing I know is barbs can't spawn on a tile that's in vision. So if we have vision on some of these tiles over here, it'll help. I honestly think this is the city to go for next because I can build a workboat and have it connected like instantly. Whereas a city here needs worker labor to be useful, and I don't have workers available to go to that spot right now. And I need the workers for chops on the lighthouse. So I think this spot has to be next, even though it's a little bit in a weird spot, but I can have a workboat to connect the fish instantly. So I think that's better. He still only has 2 cities, so I need to we actually have a trade connection. Let's just look at the demos because we just hit turn 50. So we're keeping pace in GMP. He's higher in production, but because the AI doesn't work high food tiles and whip like you should be doing. We're actually ahead in food, which is pretty impressive. We're behind in power, but not too badly considering we have nothing but warriors. Culture, okay, sure, he's got more culture. And he came from this direction, so he must be off to the northwest somewhere. Like I said, I do want to explore, but I've kind of put exploration on the back foot so I can try to make this great lighthouse play. Apparently with 19 gold, I'm second wealthiest in the world, so I'll take that. All right, so 1 turn, and then we double whip next turn. We've got two warriors out here, or 3 warriors. That's our barb defense, these 3 warriors. Okay, so again, I'm going to whip this when we can overflow into Great Lighthouse. All right, so that's now pre-chopped. So we've pre-chopped both of these tiles. I'll just keep going in a circle here. And we've also pre-chopped this tile here. Which is good because I want to bulldoze these tiles anyway so I can put mines and cottages down. So like it's not even a bad thing really to get rid of these. So I think I'll do this tile and this tile. So this worker will get these 3 tiles, this worker will get these 4, and then that'll get us 140 production into the Great Lighthouse, and that should be hopefully enough to get close on it. All right, I would love to just absorb barb attacks from that direction. Oh, and look at this. Clan Nation just grew to size 2. Boom! There we go. Great timing. I'd love to say I planned that, but it just kind of came... Well, I guess I kind of planned that. Just came together. Yeah, it's true. I can see if he's met someone else by how much espionage he spent on me. That's a great point. Looks like he has not, because we're 68, 64. So it doesn't look like he's met anyone else yet. That's good to know. All right, go Warriors, go! Or should I wait 1 more turn and then whip so I get more overflow? I think it's actually better to wait 1 more turn and whip for more overflow. Because right now I'll put... right now we would put 20 production into a settler, and then at 42 out of 100, it's still a 2-pop whip. Because I get 45 production right now on an Imperial... Is it 45 or 60 on an Imperialistic whip? What do I get? Yeah, I get 45 on a whip, so I just need to be below 55, and I'll be... Yeah, so I wait 1 more turn. Yeah, so I wait 1 more turn there. All right. So that is now pre-chopped. Is whipping off a 4 production tile actually efficient? Yes, it is. Because basically we'll have enough production to finish the settler and also finish the workboat with the overflow. So yes, it is. I know, well, right now it's going to Vercingetorix, but I will reassign these tiles. I'm not actually going to finish these chops. It's a great point, but I'm not actually finishing these chops right now. These are just pre-chops. They're not actual chops. They're pre-chops. We're getting ready to chop at a later date, and I will make sure that it's assigned to the correct city when that happens. But a really good point to notice that. All right, so now we whip this. All right, settler costs 2 production. All right. We'll now whip this as well so that we can overflow into the Great Lighthouse. Maybe I probably should have waited one more turn here because that way I would grow back and that way I would be working both tiles, but it's okay. Just wanted to make yeah, I need let's just reload that because I'm 1 tile short. I'm one after doing the whips now I'm like 1 beaker short. Let's just reload to the start of this turn because I muffed that up. Okay. Move all the units the same way. Yeah, you can choose which city will get the chop. All right, so I am not going to whip because I would not have enough to finish masonry if I did that. Okay. Forgot that dropping that I have like just barely enough. So if you're curious about how do you know how many beakers you're actually going to get, so if you look up there, 22 per turn. So the actual beakers you will get is you would get the 22, and you're like, well, wait a minute, 22 doesn't equal 94 plus 22 is only 116. Why is that enough? Well, we get a 20% bonus on our beakers because we have a prerequisite bonus on masonry. That's what that arrow means. Every arrow means you get a 20% prereq bonus. There's also a known tech bonus, but it's not significant enough to factor in yet, based on how many civs you know who also know the tech. So it's 22 times 1.2 is our 22 times 1.2. So that's 26 beakers. And you can see that is enough to get over there. You also always get 1 beaker per turn, even if you have no science. So like even if I dial down to nothing, you can see we still get 1 beaker. So I think technically we actually get 23 beakers times 1.2, which is 27. But if we drop working one of these tiles, then we get 21 times 1.2. Got my calculator on the cell phone here. Yeah, so 21 beakers times 1.2 is 25, and we need 26 to finish this. So yep, have to work that tile. All right, and I'm just going to cancel these. So, all right. So now that we've got this done, now what do we want to push for? Like, what's our next goal? Well, there's always ironworking for Praetorians. Find out if we need iron. I think that that's a lower priority right now. There's always metal casting we could push for if we really do want to make a Colossus play. So that's a possibility as well. I think first of all we should get archery though, just for safety's sake. Like, let's not be too greedy here. But that is a possibility. So we could overflow in 1 turn the lighthouse, which wouldn't be bad, but I need a workboat for that new city, so we're going to do that first. Organized religion, people also like. Yeah, organized religion would be good. Organized religion wouldn't be bad at all. And organized religion's also en route to monarchy. We also have writing as a possibility, but I think writing is a lower priority. Honestly, the libraries aren't that great. Ag we'll come back to when we finally find something that is an agriculture resource. So someone's gotten to that's the monotheism religion, I'm sure. So you are just going to hang out up here and fog bust for us. All right, so now we're going to whip this. Now the one downside to that is I'm going to just, there's no need, like there's no purpose to moving onto another tile here because I just have to move back and chop again. So I'll just put a turn into a road here because that's all I can do rather than just do nothing on that worker's turn. And let's dial down research for the time being. Currency could be helpful too, especially if we land the Great Lighthouse. Currency would be nice, but I don't think we have to push for currency quite that much. I really do like monarchy plus organized religion. I like a lot. And I think I'm going to revolt next turn into Confucianism, because on this upcoming turn, I'll have the workboat moving, I'll have the settler moving, I'll have the Great Lighthouse queued up so the workers can chop into it. So I think it would be a good turn to revolt. Build a galley and settle the other island. So that's also something I would like to do. I want to have Suez build a lighthouse because it's super cheap, and then I want to start sending out galleys and workboats exploring as much as I can. Like probably a workboat in both directions, but a galley as well, because a galley can actually carry units. I agree, I do want to find out what's over here. I know I've been delaying expansion, or exploration, but like I want to get the lighthouse because it's very cheap for me, and it'll be +2 food. And then I want to build, and then I will try to send out some of these, but like this workboat has to go to this city for the fish, or else it's no. Oh, so like here's the problem. We've got this is what we were concerned about. There's the barb archer. So what we'll do is move these units up and hope that things go well. All right, so this is going into the Great Lighthouse instead. We will now grab this tile and have this also chop into the Great Lighthouse. So yeah, this is why we're researching archery. Oh, and here's another barb unit. Well, this one I can absorb with this unit just fine, because that one has the woodsman bonus. The most likely outcome is one of these warriors will die, and then the other one can kill the archer. That's the hope. But that's why I was building these units. And then I said this is a good turn to revolt, so let's go ahead and do that. All right. Come on, warrior, you're in a forest. You got a somewhat defensive bonus. Attack the one that wasn't fortified. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Yes! We did not have good odds in that battle, so that's great stuff. And now I've even got woodsman too on this guy. Whew! What were the odds in that fight? So we had 99% odds in the other one. Yeah, it was a straight 50-50. Yeah, a little bit worse. So it looks like a straight 50-50, but the odds were slightly less than 50%. And why is that? Because the archer got a first strike. So the fact that the archer gets a first strike gave it slightly higher odds. Nice, nice. That's some good luck. I'll take that. And look, we got down to 20 HP and then won 2 rounds in a row. Haha. Praise the RNG. Seriously. Alright, so you come down here. Alright, so now we're safe. There's no barb units that can smack this settler, so we're safe to found next turn. Got our Confucian buddy, Wang Khan, hanging out with us. I think I'll run another turn of 0% science. Don't worry, you'll lose a great general at 99.9% odds to even things up. And welcome anyone who just got here. Alright, so now we've got our workers. So I'm going to send you back here to finish off that pre-chop tile. And then you are going to cash in these tiles. Oh, hey, look, by the way, this city actually got up to size 2. So what I will do is I'll finish the granary. Yeah, I need to build the granary and then the lighthouse. The city is actually can work water tiles and not be totally useless with the granary plus lighthouse combo. It actually needs the lighthouse more than the granary, so I probably should have swapped this around, but the granary is halfway done, so we should finish that. I am going to whip this as soon as it gets a half full box. What tiles do I want it working? I'm just gonna have you patrol back and forth here to try and fog bust. Let's see. That's probably right. Could also do actually, this is probably better. We'll do this for 2 turns and then whip. It'll drop it back to no food in the box again, but that way I can get the granary done. And then I might mine this tile and work it so that I can then get the lighthouse done quickly. It's really nice having the half-cost lighthouse. This city, unfortunately, is really sad. Not much I can do about that, but we've been sacrificing to get the Great Lighthouse done faster, so. If you move the warrior 1 south, there can be no spawns north of it. Is that true? Like if I put it here, is that true? It can't spawn? So yeah, the chop is currently going to Suez, but I'll reassign it on this upcoming turn. Don't worry. Okay, I'll take your word for it. All right, so see, now we reassign the tile. There we go. All right, so down to 133 turns. We we can get more production. Like if I wanted to, I can work this tile for some actual production, but don't be fooled by this. We're actually making really good progress. All right, so now this needs to go here. There we go. So now we've already got half the wonder knocked out. 4 more chops will get us to... 4 more chops will be another 80, and yeah, I mean, that's mostly there. Just have to cash in this chop, which is already almost done, and then chop this one, and chop this one, and we're pretty much there, honestly. I can always whip the wonder, too, if it looks like it's getting close, but I think we're online for like a turn 65 Great Lighthouse, and I think that should be enough, even on Immortal. Super valuable wonder on this map, obviously. Alright, so we're going to need a name for the city, you guys. So we'll have the fish hooked up next turn. What's our name for this one? So 5x5, okay. I actually did not know that it worked that way. So that means if you go here, so we might need this guy to be like here, roughly. And then this guy, like, I don't know, here or so? Something like that. Cod's place? Any other suggestions? It's not bad. One north of that place, okay. I think I'm going to heal this guy first, just for safety's sake. Your cities provide vision too, that's true. I think I'm gonna have this guy heal for a turn or two, and then move up. Okay, I didn't get any names that seemed great for this spot. Because we have 2 fish, 2 furious, I think already set aside for that one. I'll go with Plainsview for this spot. Alright, so first up, this city needs the granary. It doesn't need the lighthouse right away because it's gonna be able to work that tile. And if we do get the Great Lighthouse, we're really going to need overseas cities for our overseas trade routes. But like this city, it's really nice. So this is how you want to set things up with the like the workboat hitting right as the city's about to right as the city gets founded. The workboat's there to provide a high food tile. So Vercingetorix is kind of a wasteful city. It did slow down. It's not really contributing much on its own, but like it unlocked Great Lighthouse, it unlocked more chops for this city, so I think it was worthwhile to toss that down. It's sacrificing for the greater good as far as the city goes. Alright, so this is fog busting there. I think we said this guy was going to move up here. I'm sure you guys will help me get the exact tile right. How are we looking on the demos, by the way? I'm just curious. So we're number 1 in food. That's great for this early on Immortal. We're actually number 2 in production. That's also fantastic. GMP is a little bit low, but part of that is culture that we don't have. Is Plainsview technically on the river? I don't think it is, honestly, but let's see. No, it is. +2 from fresh water. So that means Leve down the road in that spot. Nice. Very long term, but... So it is on the river. I actually didn't think it was. Now I am slightly concerned that a barb archer could pop out of here and then we'd only have the one warrior for defense. So I do think I need to get an archer over here. That said, I can always, actually no, never mind. I'm okay. I'm okay because I could always whip an archer once archery's done, and then that would be pretty safe. Because I could have warrior plus archer if I absolutely had to. Well, I'm healing the warrior. I guess it's probably better to be out there fog busting first. So this city was really helpful for the Great Lighthouse because it gave me more tiles to chop. Like I have both of these tiles being chopped. It gave me the extra happiness so my cities can grow larger. Like this city can now have a whip on happiness and still hit size 6, which is really nice. Also really glad I went ahead and mined this tile because it's been giving me another good tile to work. And the extra production does help. Next up, I need to get some more of these. I need to get more tiles improved, but like we've been sacrificing some things to get the Great Lighthouse. Hopefully done quickly. So yeah, this game was risky delaying archery, but with it being an archipelago map, it helps. Oh, actually unhealthy. Didn't expect to run into the health penalty. Well, we'll need to get another... Oh, hey! There's a crab resource over there. Nice! Looks like we can put a city right here. Probably. That's another health resource, because you want to get that in first ring. By the way, can we sign open borders with him yet? I'm just curious. Alright, so no open borders. He still doesn't have... Hook up the... Oh yeah, or hook up the cow. We can do that too. So we've got 89 production, and I think we're going to have 4 more forest chops coming here, or at least 3 more. It's a crabby place. Yes, it is. Alright, so unfortunately Vercingetorix has to lose this tile, which means... Oh, we can whip the granary? Okay, there we go. I should have done that 1 turn sooner, but oh well. It can overflow into the... lighthouse. Alright, so chop this. There we go. So then we'll get 2 more. That's another 40 production. So what are we getting? We're getting 24 this turn. That puts us at, let's see, 93. So that puts us at 113, and then 2 more. Okay, and then we probably need this one as well. Yeah, we should be looking pretty good. Okay. All right, so yeah, whip counter's getting down. Next up, I think we do the galley next, because it can both ferry units and also potentially explore a little bit over here. Like, this city doesn't feel as valuable. I think an offshore city is probably the next thing we want, especially if we get Great Lighthouse for trade routes. Really need workers as well, but Clam Nation would be the logical city to build them. Vercingetorix is too weak to build them. Maybe Plainsview can get a worker at size 2, maybe, because I could definitely use it over here. Double fish spot and crabs are probably those are the next ones, because this city doesn't contribute that much. This city would be more just trying to make sure barbs don't spawn. Maybe this city is next, though. If I have enough worker labor. The nice thing about these fishing villages is they don't require a lot of worker labor. If I have the worker labor, I'd love to get this, because it would mean that barbs can't really spawn in a lot of the island. Vercingetorix is for building wealth, pretty much. It will just work water tiles, basically.
Do not throw the arrow which
will
return against you.
So I think we were saying we want to make a play for monarchy, hereditary rule, and then after that look to go for metal casting. And I think that does make sense. So first up, we want to get organized religion via monotheisms. That would be heading down this path. Again, we will come back for agriculture. This is not my last One City Challenge game where we launch the spaceship without ever researching agriculture. All right, so this city's going to grow into unhappiness shortly. So why don't we just squeeze out a 3-turn worker first? And then maybe I'll 2-pop whip the galley as soon as that's done, or something like that. Because I certainly could use another worker. I'm low on workers. Oh, look at that overflow in the lighthouse. Nice. Very nice to be organized when the maps, you need lighthouses everywhere. All right, you chill there for right now. You're providing a lot of vision. I think you're in a pretty good spot too. So I might walk you back and forth between these tiles just for a little bit more vision. So what's our break-even research rate? At like 50%. That's not a point, not at a point where you should be stopping. Clan Nation does not have a granary, but with the double 5 food tiles, it's still going to grow very quickly. I could grow into unhappiness. The whip counter is almost about to wear out, but I think squeezing out a worker is pretty good. Because like we could build a road on the cows to hook them up to the trade network. I want to get some cottages done in this area, and I wouldn't mind getting a road started in this direction either. Think everything's fog busted now? I hope so. We do have archer. I feel better having archery tech in like my back pocket just in case. Something like just in case I'm wrong. Like there is one fog tile up there, but all right. We'll switch you over to this tile. All right, so Great Lighthouse, 23 production. Yeah, it should be done once we chop this. Like we'll finish this chop, and when we finish this chop, it should be done. So it should be turn 65. It should finish. So everyone's pretty confident that the barbs can't spawn here. Yeah, so if you're unhappy and you're building a worker, you don't the unhappy population doesn't consume the food. And no, I haven't played Colonization, although that's a good question. Either the original or the remake that they did. All right, so we'll burn through Mysticism next. Wow, we're catching up to Wang Khan in score, aren't we? He still only has one city. What's he doing? Maybe he's on a really small island. Has he met anyone yet? He doesn't look like he's met anyone yet, so he seems to be struggling. All right, so Plainsview, yeah, can just grow for the time being. That's fine. I do not plan on doing a Rise and Falls playthrough. I'm not really interested in the mod. So yeah, I mentioned before I started the AI is not as good at water maps. That's absolutely true. AI is not as strong on them. Wait, did we pick up? I think I'd rather work the water tile, honestly. I think I'd rather have 2 commerce than the 1 production here. Because I still finished that anyway. Yeah, I think I'm going to do the galley, and I think I'll whip out the galley, honestly, because I want to start exploring. And then I'll probably do a workboat because I'm going to need it for that crabs anyway.
Nature herself has imprinted on the minds of all the
All right.
idea of God.
Heading in this direction. Organized religion would be nice. I wish I'd had organized religion in time for this great lighthouse, but just not really possible. All right, let's see. So I think the first thing to do is let's hook this up because it only takes 2 turns. All right, and I did exactly what I said I wouldn't do, which is the chop went into the wrong city. So I screwed that up. Let's just fix that real quick.
Nature herself has imprinted on the minds of all the idea of God.
So hold on, watch. We'll do this. There we go. Change who's working that tile. All right, so there we go. 10 turns. So this, yeah. So now we just need to finish this. So I could move this worker onto this turn to get the chop done a turn sooner, but I think that's a little bit wasteful. I think it's better to just start tossing down cottages on these tiles so that I have more to work. All right. But yeah, we need to get a galley out so we can start. Work the worker in Plainsview? Well, no, not just yet. A worker would not wouldn't be that useful here just yet. I mean, maybe. If Winecon's doing badly, do we annex Korea? Maybe. Let's settle what we can first. We always have the option to come back later. I'm very open to trying to do some conquering on this map later on, but like, that's still down the road. So the whip counter now wore off, and so now we've got another another thing to work. You know what we could do? I'm wondering if I could. I'm wondering if I can build a set. I'm wondering if I can let this go for like 2 more turns. Like, let this run for 2 turns. Swap to a settler. 2-pop whip the settler. Overflow into the galley. And then load up the settler on the galley. Something like that. Because I think that would work. Alright, so next up, let's get some cottages in this area. I'll start with this tile and then head north, because this tile can be worked by a number of different cities. Yeah, poor Vercingetorix. I really abused this city, didn't I? What you need right now is a 2-food tile. Get the cottage done, because this chop will finish next turn. And that should come super close to finishing the Great Lighthouse. Like, very close, because that'll add 20 production. So that it's going to be at 171 and then another 20. So yeah, they'll be like 1 or 2 turns away. I would need to send a unit over, that's true. So alternately, I could just whip this now. Regrow to the happy cap. Oh, yeah, I'll just whip this now, because I want to get that whip counter reset. Whip this now, start moving it over there. Regrow to the happy cap, just build a settler naturally at the happy cap, because that wouldn't be the worst thing either. This city has a granary. Clam Nation is the one that needs a granary, but that can come... The Clam Nation's next whip is probably that granary, and then it can start contributing settlers and workboats of its own. Looks like there's a barb city on that island. I don't... Oh yeah, there is a barb city up here. You are correct. Well, we don't have any easy way to capture a barb city right now, because we have no resources. Archers aren't going to be very good against a barb city. Alright, so... let's let this grow, finish the workboat, let it regrow, and then it'll be at the happy cap, and I'll probably build the settler there. But let's see, let's find out what's over there. All right, I would like to come down here and help with this cottage, honestly. So we'll have you do a half turn of a road. All right, and Great Lighthouse is 3 turns. Let's get that down to 2 turns. So turn 67. I'm hoping that's pretty safe. I guess we'll find out. I could always whip it, but with it just being 2 turns as opposed to 1 turn, I just need to hit next turn, and I'm guaranteed to get it because the player wins. Oh, I see what you're saying. Dump this into the settler for the imperialistic bonus. Yeah, that's probably ideal. Yeah, that's probably the right thing to do. Then go to the workboat, regrow, and then, yeah. Hopefully I have iron somewhere on this island, because there's no horses on this island either. Another game with no resources. I've had that happen a fair number of times. Alright, so we are now guaranteed to get Great Lighthouse. Of course we're going to have a wonder pop up, but it's fortunately not the Great Lighthouse. Okay, so Barb Archers over there on that island. Boy, that was scary time. Alright, so we only need 4 production, so we can do this instead. I guess it doesn't make a huge... or this, actually. Alright. And that cottage should be done, so at least now Vercingetorix is working a tile that's not total garbage. I just needed to grow back to size, the next size, so that I can whip it. It did finish a granary, so it is going to grow at a pathetically slow rate, but it will grow a little bit. Send that worker over to Plainsview. I don't know. I want to get some work done over here first. Plainsview is mostly just going to work the water tiles, honestly. Like, I'm about to whip this granary. It's, like, I'll work this tile, and then it'll whip the granary, and then it'll work on its lighthouse. It's mostly working the water tiles. We could connect the other furs. I don't know what we would do with extra furs, though. We still can't trade with Wang Khan yet, because we have to defog away. Would it be better to farm this? I mean, you could make the case that it's better to farm this and then get Vercingetorix up to +3 food surplus. Maybe. I don't know. I'm mostly thinking of Vercingetorix just not really doing much. Yeah, this would be a good tile to cottage, too, just because it's riverside and the city has so much food. Although these tiles wouldn't be bad to cottage either. Anyway, did we get that over? All right, so we got that overflow last turn. Do the workboat, then go back to finishing the settler. Just so we can grow to size 6. +3 food is a lot better than +2. It's a fair point. I probably should have thought about that. Because +3 does make a big difference as opposed to +2. Anyway, I've been running gold for a while. We should turn on the slider so we can actually get polytheism and then get into organized religion, which would be really nice. Because that way then we can start using missionaries to pop borders. We don't have to waste time on monuments, which are really lousy. Let that city rot. We'll see. Alright, there we go. Yay! Great Lighthouse. Woo! That will be worth a ridiculous amount of commerce. Great Lighthouse really should probably be +1 trade route, not +2. The +2 is okay on like a Pangea map, but it's really overpowered on a water-based map. So turn 67, that's pretty good. Like that's a fast Great Lighthouse. I don't think we probably didn't have to be quite that fast, but I mean it's such a critical wonder for us that it's really important. So now even a little city like this is pretty valuable. But now we need to get some overseas cities to get that extra trade route income. No, bad city. Don't work that tile. Okay. Let's go back and finish that settler, because it's only 2 turns. Then we need to finish the workboat, because it's going to need that clams. We can borrow one of these tiles temporarily, but then it's going to need that. Oh, there's a fish up here. And ivory, nice. Nice. All right, so now we can go back to working better tiles. Although even actually, we should probably just whip the granary right now. Now I can settle uninhibited. Colossus would be useful. Library Development Academy, no, I don't think that's as important on this map. We don't, so like you want to push for an academy if you have a capital that's like really good at working. Like if you can get a size 16 capital working 15 cottages. This map doesn't really have that. So it's like a little bit more decentralized, if that makes sense. Wang Khan is in the fog besides the Barb City, is he? Let's see. Oh, he is. I see, you're right. He is right there, wow. So he is not far away. So we should grab this spot. And we also want to defog a trade route to him, because then we'll get his cities. Oh, we need open borders for that though, don't we? He has 3 cities at the moment. We're not going to be fighting him anytime soon, but if he's weak, I see no reason why we can't come over there and try to smack him around. We certainly would like to get this Barb City. Here's the problem. The city is archers on a hill. That's not going to fall anytime soon. You need at least... Well, we would probably need iron and Praetorians, but that's a very easy conquest. That Barb City, at least, if we can get that. Also, the city's size 1, so it would be auto-raised right now. Plainsview could whip a couple of workboats. It could. I wanted to get its granary. I'm more interested in focusing on its infrastructure, though. I want to get the granary and the lighthouse done here. I'm kind of more interested in that at the moment. But yeah, we should try to get this spot at least before we're worrying about the AI. We also do need to put at least 1 archer in that city just for safety's sake. We'll found it first because we're playing fast and loose and reckless right now, but he's pleased with it. Well, he doesn't declare war at pleased, so we're pretty safe. Or wait, does he? Is he one? I can't remember. Is he an AI that declares war at pleased? I can't remember if he's a declares war at pleased AI or not. Anyway, so I'll consider, I think I may turn this into a farm at some point, just so the city can get a little bit more food, but for now we're good. At Plains, you should 2 times whip an overflow into a worker. That's probably right. I do need more workers. But the city is not going to... The city's not going to be able to 2-pop whip the granary. Well, I could manipulate it so it can do a 2-pop whip. That's probably the correct call. 2-pop whip the granary, overflow into worker, because I do need to get a worker. A worker could chop out the lighthouse, and that's probably the better call. Yeah, this is also saying chop out the lighthouse. I think that's right. Winecon doesn't declare it pleased. Okay, that makes me feel a little safer. All right, now that the city has granary and lighthouse, by the way, we're going to get a great merchant in 50 turns from this city. So we should be thinking about uses for a merchant light bulb. Could also always just use it for teching. Or maybe a golden age to swap civics is also a possibility. All of those could be things we want to see. So for this city, I probably will try to whip out a worker next. But in the meantime, do we try to get... so we could get an archer to defend that city, or we could look to try and... get out another exploring unit. It might be better just to get another exploring unit and sending it out. But I think I'll go with the archer for right now. That way the capital can skip on an archer. All right, so work that tile instead. This city has so much food, it might be worthwhile to mine one of these tiles just for some flexibility. But I think I can keep like one worker in this area, and the other one should start heading in this direction, I think. Like, let's finish this connection here for mobility purposes. Great merchants can be a useful super specialist because they do provide food. That's absolutely right. Now that these roads are done, I can go 1, 2, and load here. I'm just trying to think what I want to prioritize with these workers. I do need slightly fewer workers on this map because there's so many water tiles. Great merchant to bulb metal casting. The problem is it's going to take 40 turns for that merchant to come out. Like, it's 48 turns away. That might be too slow. Like, my Colossus hope is to build it faster than that. I think that would be a little too slow, honestly. We'll see, though. Also, that's not full value from a light bulb. I know that you can light bulb civil service with a great merchant. That might be more useful. I'd have to double check the bulbing paths, but I'm pretty sure that civil service is a merchant bulb that you can do. Yeah, Zolson, I think, had that in the chat too. Currency, alphabet, code of laws, currency, monarchy, then civil service. That might be something that's around. Although I don't know that civil service is as valuable on this map. So ironworking, I think ironworking in the hopes of getting some Praetorians to smack that Barb city is a real possibility. At the moment, we are heading for organized religion, so we can spread this religion and use it to pop borders at new cities. So that's the current goal. So I think we're going to do that. But we could potentially, and like I think the plan is to go there and then double revolt, organized religion, hereditary rule, so that we're not in 2 turns of anarchy. Can double up on that. We're getting 43. I mean, we're getting 40-ish beakers per turn at max rate. So even monarchy is not that expensive for us. Yeah, we should be able to push through this pretty quickly. So I think that's the next goal. And then after that, maybe we look for ironworking and writing. That combination. Writing so we can get open borders with Wang Khan. I mean, he could also get to writing as well, but he hasn't done a great job of doing that just yet. So this city almost has its lighthouse ready to go. Once it has its lighthouse, it can just work water tiles and it'll be fine. I do wish I had thought to farm this tile, though, because 3 food is just so much faster. Fully 50% faster. Like, just 1 farm here and then work water tiles would really help this out a lot. Oh, wait, I don't have agriculture. Ha, I don't have agriculture. Yeah, that's why I didn't farm it. I don't have agriculture. Well, it'll stay as a cottage for now, then. All right, anyway. So over here, workboat due in 2 turns. You come here. Where's that settler? We're just going to continue pushing like snowball, like settle cities as quickly as possible, build cottages, work water tiles, get those lighthouses down. I think we need 1 turn. Yeah, now our break-even research is over 70%, so that means more cities as fast as you can get them out. I think Clam Nation, its next whip is probably another settler for somewhere. Alright, so down here, what would actually be useful? So we've got cottages on these tiles. I'd like to have Suez stop working coastal tiles and work a cottage instead. So I think we do, while the workers are here, let's just triple up on this tile. Get this cottage knocked out quickly. Obviously, it's a lower yield at the moment, but it'll quickly, in 10 turns, it'll be equal, and then it'll exceed it. Over here, still watching this city. So the granary is... I know we said we were going to 2-pop Whipple Worker, but I'm not sure that that's the... I still don't know if that's the best option or not. I'm just... wish I could get this city to grow a little bit faster. Unfortunately, there's no tile I can work that has more production. No, I guess this is right. We work on the granary, and then we 2-pop Whipple. We let it grow to size 4, 2-pop Whipple Worker, Overflow finishes the granary, and then chop out the lighthouse. I think that is actually the best. Is it worth thinking about Moai? It is, actually. We should be thinking about that, but we should be thinking about it after we connect stone, because that makes it much better. So we would want a city that's very heavy on water tiles. Could always build it at the capital, but we probably want to save the National Wonder slots for better stuff at the capital. Though the capital wouldn't be the worst Moai city. By the way, we've actually passed Winecon in score this early on Immortal. That's pretty impressive. Although the AI doesn't, as we said, doesn't handle water maps quite as well. But we're actually cleaning up in food. Look at this, way ahead. And we're actually #1 in GMP at 0% science, too. 2 Fish, 2 Furious would be a good Moai city. Like, look, this would be a good spot for a Moai city. It's going to work a gazillion water tiles, and that'll actually give it production. Moai on the dot map southeast. I think that's the one that Slash was mentioning there. 2 Fish, 2 Furious, yeah. I think that's the one. Because it'll have a ton of food, and then that'll give it a good amount of production, too. You know, like working 10 different tiles that are getting Moai. Alright, no. Bad city. Work this tile instead. 1 production per turn. I really should mine 1 or 2 of these tiles, so because the cities can share them, and Clam Nation, there are times I'm going to want it to have real production, not just grow as fast as you can working water tiles. So yeah, we've got the settler on board. Can actually unload it right here. And then this workboat's going to need to come over. I might just send this galley out exploring, honestly. And then I can build another galley, like locally for ferrying stuff. That would make sense. This city's going to be garbage without... Oh, no, never mind. I can share the clams. I was like, this city will be garbage until I connect this. But no, I can share the clams. Then I'll actually have a tile to work. Okay, so we got that finished. So that 1 worker I'll keep here and mine some of these tiles. I'd like to mine this tile because both cities can share it. It's also Riverside, so it's got the +1 commerce. This tile would also... Wait, what's another one? And then... 1 of these 2 tiles, also because they can be shared by Vercingetorix and or Vercingetorix and Clam Nation. So I'll leave 1 worker behind for that. These other ones I think should start pushing over here. The capital doesn't really need more tiles. I guess I can cottage this. I'll save these for the time being. They actually are providing a point of health. C+1 from Forest. Although this city's about to go into unhappiness, but that's okay. I do need to finish that workboat. I'm not going to drop these tiles. Maybe I'll have it squeeze out something else. We'll figure it out. So yeah, I want to get this tile cottage next, I think. So road this while you're here. to avoid wasting a turn of worker movement. And then we'll get this tile next, so I can stop working this and work a better tile instead. Yeah, demographics are really good. I mean, yes, the AI doesn't handle the water maps quite as well, but I do think we're playing pretty well here and like kind of maximizing what we've got. All right, so this is needed over there. I think we'll work on the another settler, because like we're going to want a settler on this spot. I'm going to need work boats for it, but maybe this worker can, maybe the worker coming out of here can help chop some. And I'm going to need missionaries too, but I'm not an organized religion yet, so I can't work on that just yet. All right, you're coming over here for crabs. That gives us another health resource. Let's have you mine this tile, because there's a bunch of two cities that can make use of it. And we're going to need a name for this city. First, let's just see if there's anything over here. Nope. Pyramids, I don't have as much of a priority on, to be honest, because I'm heading for hereditary rule anyway. So, like, representation's not as big of a need. It certainly wouldn't hurt, but I don't know if it's... I think I'd rather just push towards more cities at this point, honestly, than like go for pyramids. Great Lighthouse was super useful. I think Colossus is more what I'd like to prioritize. And Vicino di Mare is a neat-sounding name. I don't know what that means in Italian, but we'll go for it. I'm assuming it's not something inappropriate. All right, so you also will need granary first. Let's get rid of the X. So for right now, you're going to borrow that tile, so you can work some sea neighbor by the sea. Okay. And yeah, so this city's still fine. Obviously, that slows down Clam Nation a bit, but Clam Nation's got the granary, so it's good. We're going to get another border pop here pretty soon, too, from Great Lighthouse. Now, I don't know if that's going to bring any useful tiles. Let's see, 20, 40. It'll grab this tile, which is not super useful, but you never know. This guy will also be able to defog a sea route over to Wang Khan, but I might not be able to move anywhere. I might just run into his borders. We might need to go. We might need to go writing next after this, because we're going to need to. We might get stuck on his borders. Actually, writing is super cheap. Let's just do that first. He'll definitely sign open borders with us. All right, so now get that cottage done. Almost have this done. Vercingetorix. Okay, so Vercingetorix can get its lighthouse, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. We got the granary, so just went ahead and whipped for that. Although I guess I'm not sure if that's actually needed because I'm not working that tile. But anyway, this is why we want that. So Vicino di Mare, it is an overseas trade route, so it's worth double the value. So we really would want more overseas cities. And of course, it's overseas with everything, so it's very, very profitable. But I don't know that I have another obvious place just yet to put an overseas city. So this is quite nice. So these are probably the next spots for cities, just because I don't have an easy way to put an overseas spot down just yet. Also, they're very safe cities, which does matter. I mean, my very fearsome military of 5 warriors is definitely scary, but you know. I don't even have 5 warriors. Don't worry, we'll get more units at some point. All right, so Vercingetorix can get an archer here. Or we can get a workboat to head out exploring or defogging the map. Maybe we just use the overflow to get another workboat, because we certainly can use this somewhere. Or just use it for exploring, I suppose. Yeah, this is what I thought might happen. I would just run into Wang Khan's borders right there. Right, so you mine. You guys finish that cottage. There we go. So we had to pit stop for writing because otherwise we couldn't keep exploring. And we should be able to get overseas trade routes with Wang Khan too. This Khoisan, we need an actual military unit to get this. I'm not worried. Wang Khan won't capture it anytime soon though. Archer's in a city on a hill. That's not falling. Not in the immediate future. Alright, so... yeah, I could declare war, but no. We'll just wait here for one turn. He'll definitely sign open borders with us. All right, so now the question is what to do with these guys next. I want to finish this road first because it was almost complete. This city's about to get a worker out, and then it'll be able to start contributing. Probably road towards this spot, because I think I can get double settlers. One out of Clam Nation. I'll let it grow up to the happy cap, and then we can look to double web settler, and then probably one. And then we've already got one going for Suez, so probably road and maybe pre-chop over here, getting ready for double settlers on these two tiles. The tile yields I do find to be a little cluttering. That's why I typically turn them off. So I hope that that's not too annoying, but that's generally why I don't use them. Let's build the road here and here. That nice diagonal movement. And then Clam Nation will get back its good tiles next. Alright, so there's writing. One of the cheapest techs in the game, because you can get, like I got double prerequisite bonuses for writing. If I'd gone through Priesthood, I actually would have had triple prereq bonuses. Writing's kind of infamous for giving you a big GNP spike that's not always the most reflective of real conditions. But anyway, let's dial up our buddy Wang Khan. I'm sure he will accept this. That'll also improve relations right up until we're ready to backstab him. I mean, we all know Wang Khan's a backstabbing AI. So now we should have trade routes with him. Might take a turn to kick in. Alright, there's his capital. Oh, he's not on this. So he's not on this island with Khoisan. He's on a separate island. His capital is also the Confucian Holy City. Ooh, that's a juicy target. Maybe consider building the shrine for that, Wang Khan, because that would be nice for us. The monotheism religion was taken a while ago. You can see because there's no little religious icon right here. Good question. So did we get the trade routes? There we go. All right. Plus 3 commerce trade routes. Nice. So he has more cities. I believe he has 3 cities total. All right. Well, looks like it's time for us to go on a exploring binge. We need to find more. AIs because right now we've already used up all our intercontinental trade routes right there. Like we need him to found more cities so we can take them away, so we can get trade routes to them. But yeah, I'm gonna look to. I think I should maybe circle around this island just to see how big it is, but I do want to send ships exploring in both directions. All right, so here's that worker. You can be prepared to double whip, and then the overflow should finish the granary. Settler there. Now that you've got this, so now we've got Vicino de Mare's got its own resource, so now Clam Nation can take that back. There we go. And since it's about to grow, we'll put you on a settler. Or, no. Let's triple whip the settler. Yeah, let's let it grow to size 6 and triple whip it. That'll work better, because then we'll get some overflow from that. The Great Lighthouse is, so part of the problem is they added the intercontinental trade routes in Beyond the Sword, which didn't exist in the original game. So that's part of the issue. But it's also just an overpowered wonder on sea maps. Oh, he does have copper, so he will have metal units. Like I said, we're going to go... we're going to organize religion plus hereditary rule next. And then after that, I think we pick up ironworking. Hopefully we have iron somewhere on this island. All right, so city's unhappy, but that's just fine. Doesn't really matter that much. Let's let this run for 2 more turns. That'll be enough for the whip unhappiness to wear out. Swap the settler, triple whip it. Boom. And then we've got 2 more cities to be founded, which we're roading towards right now. All right, worker, there we go. Worker, we should get enough overflow that the granary will be just about done. And I may have to build a library in this city after the lighthouse. Like we'll chop... I guess we chop this and then cottage it afterwards. Maybe I chop this tile first. I mean, this Plains View is mostly going to be working water tiles, but... So metal casting is also a plan for the future. Can only do so many things so quickly, though. Metal casting tends to be a fairly expensive tech. That's part of the issue, but I do think that that's something I would want to get soonish as well. All right. Okay, so we finished the... All right, we finished the settler. That means we need to get the workboat, but I should whip something because I'm going to need workboat for that new city. I should whip something because I've used up my whip on happiness. So I think I might just whip this library because this is my best commerce city. And since I have the workers right here, I think I'm going to found this spot first because like the workers are already ready to go. Unfortunately, I have to waste a turn grabbing that. And like, yeah, I think that it makes more sense to found this city first. Even though it does not get the Great Lighthouse boon, but this will be the next one. All right, so you... All right, cool. We did have enough overflow to finish the granary. Nice. Very nice. Okay. So with that, if that being the case, you move here, and then you will chop that and cottage it. So it looks like this island just has the Barb City on it. All right, so now we've got another tile we can work there if we want more production. So we swip to the settler next turn when it's one turn away from growth, triple whip it, and go from there. All right, so next up, I wanted a tile that Clam Nation can share with First and Getterix. So look at that. Look, yay, we've got 2 commerce. We actually can continue growing at 2 food per turn. And maybe someday when I have agriculture, I'll turn that into a farm. Maybe. Poor First and Getterix. This workboat is probably going to come over here and help this city get started. Meanwhile, Vecino de Mare has no defender and no way to get a defender over there right now. I'll build another galley shortly out of Suez. Yeah, and this lets me get the stone online for Moai, true. First, of course, we'll hook this up, but then the stone will be next after that. And we've got forest to chop, so we can chop into a granary and get the city going with that way. Probably 1 chop per granary. But yeah, we're just snowballing ahead here.
Thou shalt have no other gods before me.
All right. Monarchy, only 5, wow, only 5 turns. I mean, we need to raise money for it, but still. What's it at break-even research? 7 turns, wow, okay. 7 turns, and then we can double revolt into 2 very useful civics that we'll be able to run for a long, long time. Organized religion in particular, not just for the, I mean, we get the production bonus on buildings, which is great, but also because it lets us spread a religion. And don't look now, but there's a decent chance we're going to be taking over this holy city someday. That's the hope anyway. So yeah, this gets triple whip next. Oh, okay. So we need to make sure that we do not get over 90 production. Or excuse me, over 10 production, because I want a triple whip for, because each population on a settler is 45. So if I'm at 9 out of 100, I get a triple whip. If I do this, I'm at 13 out of 100, I get a double whip. And that's not what I want. I want the triple whip because this city grows super fast. So I want the triple whip here. And that'll get me a lot of overflow. Probably we'll use for a workboat to just go out exploring. And then overflow from the workboat into an archer or something like that. Anyway. So we're going to need a name for this sheep city. Yeah, Vecino has no defending unit. I have an archer that's being built, but I will need another galley to ferry it over there. All right, so the library, 3-pop whip, but again, we'll grow that back super duper fast. Also get some nice overflow. Probably workboat overflow. I'm going to get this road so I have that connection ready. Exploring this. I guess maybe I can ferry, maybe this galley will be around, but I really did want to send this galley out on deep scouting. I just wanted to find what was on this island first. All right, you mine that tile. It could whip an archer. Yeah, that's such a bad whip though. Yeah, it's such a bad whip, though. Want to get the granary done first. You know what I can actually do? I can run this here, double resources there, and then this here, because this city's not even growing right now, so it doesn't really need that tile. Sarate, Bezoar, those are some interesting names. I like the Sandlot, because it's in the middle of the desert. I like that suggestion for this city. All right, library done. It seems like we need another galley, so why don't we overflow into that? Although I'm going to need a workboat for that other city in the east, too. Where are my workboats at right now? Let me just put it on workboat for the time being. So we've got one out of Vercingetorix, which I think is going to build a warrior for itself next. So here we go. We've got one. Sadly, we have to go up through the Suez Canal to get over here. But hopefully that can arrive around roughly the same time that city gets founded. So that's one. Suez would give me 2. Yeah, I think that's how I get my 2. Or actually, no, never mind. I only need 1 workboat there, right? I don't actually need 2 of them immediately, because the city can only work 1 tile at size 1. So galley can only work 1 tile at size 1. So. Oh, there's a fish up there. Nice. That means it's probably worthwhile to put a city down there. All right. So little micro trick here. Build the road first. So because I finished this road first, when this city gets established, there'll already be a trade route. If I had waited and done the city first, then built the road, the trade wouldn't pop up until the next turn. So you just get it 1 turn earlier. Very minor note, but it is 2 extra commerce. All right, so now we'll work on getting that connected. This will finish the lighthouse next turn, I think. Or it might be just short, because I don't have mathematics yet for the bonus production on chops. All right, so yeah, monarchy in 4. This here, we have to whip this turn. So there we go, there's the 3-pot whip. We're gonna get a lot, we're gonna get probably, let's see, so I'll work this tile for this turn to get more overflow. So we will get 150, we lose half of that. So we'll get about 25 production overflow. That can certainly finish the archer. A barb worker to capture, oh nice. So this is good for 2 reasons. Number 1, it gives us a worker to capture. Number 2, it means that the city will work this tile and grow to size 2, so it can be captured instead of being auto-raised. All right, so this settler will have to run over here. There's not a road connection, so it'll take a few extra turns, but that'll help. Oh, we also got the border pop here. Still working on that next great person. But Great Lighthouse is obviously worth its weight in gold. All right. Yeah, let's see how many more turns to get there. 8 more turns. That's probably about when that city will be founded. All right, Suez is about to hit the happy cap again. This is why we need hereditary rule, so we can stuff some warriors in there, get this up. I mean, once we have hereditary rule, I should probably start building warriors right now. Like, we'll finish the galley, but let's start stuffing some warriors in there so I can get it up to like size 12 or something. Work a whole bunch of tiles. Okay. So Clam Nation only has +4 food surplus. Now let's do that. So I'll finish the archer. I think I'm going to overflow into a workboat. Maybe I do the workboat first. I would like to get an archer over in that city just so there's some kind of defender. But I also really would like to just send a workboat out scouting, so maybe I'll do that. As I said, I've been playing fast and loose throughout this game with defense, since Suez is going to grow into unhappiness. That's true, the capital could work the tile, although I like working on this cottage, but it's not a bad suggestion to do that. Delay it for 1 turn. Growing into unhappiness is not the worst thing here, though. Actually, no, I'm going to change that. I'm going to grow the city into unhappiness because I'll have hereditary rule in the near future. So it's fine if it grows into unhappiness. That's not a big deal. Just let it grow. Let it grow, let it grow. So yeah, that's fine. It can grow into unhappiness. It'll shake it off. All right, so now that we've seen what's over there, let's start sending you out on deep scouting. You in one direction. This workboat can also head out in another direction. I need to send stuff off to the east, although I don't know where and off also up to the north too. Because we want to try to get circumnavigation if we can. So yeah, that looks good. The city's working double resources. Excellent. Probably grow to size 4 and whip the city. I don't think I need to get another worker out for here because there's really no tiles to improve. I can chop this and cottage it, and that's basically it. Can't do anything with those plains tiles. All right, so the lighthouse, weren't quite able to finish the lighthouse, but 2 turns, not bad. Now I'll cottage that tile. They're working on the pasture. Cottage that. Yeah, so as you guys correctly predicted, the city will grow into unhappiness, but as I said, that's fine. Not a big deal, because we're going to have more happiness shortly. All right, and you are going to this spot, okay? So you now continue exploring. Have these double workboats out here. Let's see. So this one's going to go establish that. Maybe I send this one just alpha exploring because I don't have another resource to connect, not immediately. And I can have the capital crank get another workboat for there, which it won't need, or even plains view. Yeah, I like the idea of just sending this out exploring. Name the galley One Direction. Sure. So we're still in the southern hemisphere here. This is a small map, so there's not a ton of tiles on it. I think the North Pole is probably like up here, because this is the jungle belt in the middle of the map. So we also do want to push up there to the north, as we can. All right, so Sandlot's got that. Let's go ahead and road this just to connect it to the rest of the empire, so we get the extra health. We actually have a lot of health. Low on health. Happiness has been what's been in short supply. Having Confucianism has helped a ton throughout this game. I don't suppose he has any resources he wants to trade. Nope. So there's the galley. Let's see. Warrior. Give me a couple warriors for hereditary. At least one more for military police. So now we've got the key infrastructure here, Granary Lighthouse. So I think, why don't you chop out a workboat next for this city? Maybe? No. This city, do more infrastructure instead. We can grow to size 6 and whip that. Oh, you know what it needs? It needs a unit to defend it because it needs an actual. You know what we can do? I think we can move you down into this city because we should have the fog busted pretty well over here. Although I think the workboat maybe should come first here because I have to remember the travel time to get over to this spot. So do the workboat first. You are mostly here to ferry units, so I think I'm going to keep you in the area for right now. There is a possible barb spawn. Yeah, I guess that's true. But this city's going to be unhappy in like a turn or so. I see what you're saying. Once I put a city down here, though... Do need to get a unit over... Once 2 fish is settled, it goes away. Okay. Well, 2 fish is about to get settled, so... Let's keep this guy here for another turn, then. Just for safety's sake. I don't want a barb unit spawning in, like, the worst possible moment and screwing everything up. Alright. Let's see. Well, don't work this tile, but you can grab that when you're at the happiness cap, I guess. Also going to need more stuff to build. We're gonna need to go for, I think we'll go ironworking next, but then metal casting because I want to get forges in play. Forge plus organized religion is really nice. And I think I want you to hop on board the ship so I can use you to chop over there. All right, so we got that connected. So let's get the stone hooked up for Moai purposes. And it also gives the city another tile to work. Although I guess it probably works the oasis next, but that's okay. Honestly, probably should funnel a chop into the granary first. That's probably the better call. Well, I'll have this worker do the chop because it's not needed until the city hits size 2. Because with a chop, I can whip the granary at a much earlier date. Actually, the quarry gives us more production, so maybe I get that and then chop afterwards. Anyway, it's not ultimately that important. All right, heading out exploring. There we go. And now finally, belatedly, we'll get this archer finished. Even though I would prefer not to work this tile, the archer comes out in 1 turn, so I'll just go ahead and let that complete. All right. All right, so you go there, and then can return afterwards. Did we get that cottage done yet? No. So it's going to grow into unhappiness, but it'll live. Just like Suez is going to grow into unhappiness, but it'll also live. All right, so this workboat's coming over for this city. It's slightly delayed, unfortunately. Yeah, it's a couple turns behind. I guess I could have managed that slightly better. Ideally, Suez would have had a workboat like coming up right when this city got founded. Oh well. Anyway, as far as demos, we should just check in on them. We're actually kind of lapping the field here. In terms of food, we're like almost double the highest AI, and GMP is looking very sharp too. Soldier count's bad, but it's not that bad. Like the top leader is only at 102,000 and we're at 50,000. And land area, we're apparently third at 46 tiles, but best is at 47 tiles, so that's not really bad or anything like that. And that puts us in a new era.
The attitude of rulers is not a good thing. Let there be one ruler.
All right, ironworking. There's the archer. For the right now, you're pretty much just growing and growing onto more commerce-heavy tiles. Okay. Now you can come into this city. All right, so we already said this is going to be Two Fish, Too Furious, and this is going to be the Moai city. Well, I can take out some of this. I can take out the spaces. So, as before, we need a granary first. All right. Oh, it looks like a new city, Wang. Yep. Now he has 4 cities. Of course, we have a lot more than 4 cities. All right. So chop this. Oh, good, nice. The chop will finish just about when the city hits size 4, and then we can 2-pop whip the granary and go from there. Yeah, that looks good right there. So I'm going to double revolt now. Hereditary rule, organized religion, 1 turn. Now I can use, instead of Clam Nation building a library, how about you build a missionary instead? Because I'd like to get religion into some of these cities, like particularly into a city like this. Getting a religion in here would help both to pop the borders and of course also to build infrastructure faster. All right, you can go over there. Let's get rid of the sign for Two Fish, Too Furious. Looking good though. That will be slightly higher civics costs because organized religion is high upkeep, but the benefits are quite significant. All right, so we got +1 happiness. We do need to get another. Um, Yeah, I'll do this to get the workboat done a turn faster, and then I need to crank out like a couple warriors to take advantage of hereditary rule. All right, there you go. Oh no, not the Great Wall. Not the Great Wall. Okay. So you hang out around here in case I need to ferry units around. If I really wanted to do a troll job, I could put a city down right here. It's honestly not crazy to do so. It would just work the fish, and it would give me another city with an overseas trade route. So a little silly, but not like the dumbest thing I've done. Like it's that or put a city here next, and this spot doesn't seem that great. Although once we get iron working, we can push into the jungle. So the Great Wall prevents barbs from entering your tiles. Period. Yeah, we'll culturally flip the barb city. That's what we'll do. It's still size 1, so at the moment it would still be auto raised automatically. All right, looks like there's a little bit more to Wang's Island over there. All right, so now you can step into that city next turn. Get you here. All right, come on there, little workboat. 2 Fish, 2 Furious is not a very good city until you arrive. That looks good. Just want the city to grow for the time being. So this workboat, yeah, is for the other fish, and then I need warriors. I was thinking that unit was finished, but I was in anarchy. And look, Vercingetorix! It's doing stuff, you guys. It's working the water tiles. That city is very sad, but it was an important part of the early game snowball. Can you see cities change size in the fog? Yeah, yes, you will see them change size. You will not see, if tiles get improved, you won't necessarily see them. All right, so that's still 2 turns, even with working this tile, so I'll do that. All right, I am not attacking war. Oh, look, there's barbarians over on his island, too. All right, so we've got that. That means next turn we'll be able to whip the granary. It'll be a 1-pop whip, but that's fine. Because that's what the city needs, is just to get its initial infrastructure going. That looks like a pretty good spot for right now for the workboat, so you can pick up this worker and return the worker as soon as they're done. I have to work this tile or else it's not it's the only 2 food tile I can have this city work, so has to work that spot. Even though it's the abomination of working a tile that has 2 food and no commerce and no production, but it is the right tile to work for this turn. So over here, I could get 3 production. This is still the better tile to work, but that'll be the next one that we want. We'll road it while we're here, and then chop after that. And 2 Fish, 2 Furious, finally about to get its food hooked up. Let's see, so what does this city need? Not much. It needs to expand borders. The library is honestly a good thing to pick up just because it'll pop the borders in addition to everything else, in addition to giving the science boost. So yeah, I think that's what I want here. I'll probably mine the tile too. All right, and there you go. There's happiness for you. Now you can grow a couple more sizes. So yeah, hopefully I do need to get, I wonder if it's better not to chop the library, but maybe it's better just to build a workboat and then just send it out exploring, because I need more exploring. Like I need to know, are there any connections to the east here? Or do I have to go up to the north? I do need more units out exploring, and right now the capital's building some warriors, so it can't really provide them. So yeah, let's do that instead. That's more valuable than a library, I think. I can just grow to size 6 and then hit the library. So yeah, I'll build this for now, and then the chop should complete it, or come very close to completing it. Oh, and that's more than enough. I should have turned on science last turn. Oh, actually, no. This is the correct turn to turn on science. All right, so Sente, give me a granary. Work that tile. I might just whip it again for a one pop. Might just whip one pop, whip it again, even though it would be more unhappiness. Where's the city on? All right, so we'll hit the city for a missionary shortly. All right, so finish hooking up the stone. Nice. Missionary, probably send the missionary to Plainsview, because that would then, I could then use it for the library whip in Plainsview for organized religion, and then Plainsview could build missionaries afterwards. We're just following his ship over here. Oh, there's another AI up there. I'm gonna guess it's Saladin based on that color. Has Wang Khan met another AI yet? Doesn't look like he has. J-Man? Well, the only reason why I think it's Saladin is we saw Islam founded at a very early date, and it would certainly square with Saladin. Check the culture in the east too, yeah. I don't see anything bleeding through on this side. Not yet, at least. Hey, now the Barb City's size 2. That means we can capture it. So I think I'm gonna build another settler here. Just double whip another settler, and I might toss it down on this tile. Still liking that idea, although I need to get. I probably need to get at least an archer for safety's sake if I'm going to do that. Maybe I'll end up founding this city instead, because it's very easy to get this city started. Doesn't really require much. But I want to keep pushing expansion, so I think the city is. I think the capital will just do another settler next. The other culture border. I mean, I'm looking and not seeing culture anywhere else. There's a culture border east of Two Fish. Are you sure? That's a Barb City. Okay, so that's a Barb City. Good eyes, but I'm pretty sure that's a Barbarian city. Still, if the borders expand at Two Fish, Two Furious, we'd have access to that. This workboat coming over can probably check it out. Okay. No, do not work a scientist. Why would you work a scientist specialist? That's a bad idea. Right, so now lighthouse. I think you can just chill here for right now. You guys now need to chop this and cottage it. I can't reach that tile. So it's just out of reach right now. Alright, workboat 2 tiles. Oh, I'm one production short, so there we go. Now we can get that workboat done a turn sooner. We did indeed land the Great Lighthouse, fortunately. Yeah, fortunately we were able to get the Great Lighthouse. It's been fully as fantastic as you would expect. Alright, so I will 2-pop whip this next turn, and then I'm going to send it to Plainsview, because Plainsview can help spread the religion over here. Which, like, it would be really nice if I could... I should try to identify, like, one city that's just high production, and just use it to try and, like, crank out military units. Like, build a barracks in one city, and just start cranking out military with it. I don't know that there's a great spot. Maybe Clam Nation is actually the best spot for that, because it is a pretty high production city. This could be a decent heroic epic city down the road, because like this tile could be given over to... Yeah, I actually think I might do that. Like now that this worker finishes this cottage, bring it back, mine some more of these tiles, and just convert it into like a production barrack city, and it can just supply defenders for the rest of the empire. Moai maybe, but like the thing with Moai is Moai will take... Like, I won't have Moai up and running for probably 40 turns. It's going to take a while to get it ready. And I think I want something sooner than that. Like, I just want one city with a barracks building military, and then later it can be heroic epic city. All right, so now we've actually got double. All right, now we can go back to working water tiles here. Have double workboats over here. With me having a spare workboat, this is probably the city that goes down next, just because I already have a workboat ready to go for over here. All right, so hop off that. Let the city regrow. Because I've been founding cities faster than I can get defenders for them thus far. All right, there we go. And in particular, I can take this this extra seafood resource back from Vicino de Mare, and then I have I have double 5 food tiles. I can work like 1, 2. So let's see. So that's double 5 food tiles. That's plus 8 food, plus 7, plus 6, plus 5, plus 3, plus 2. Yeah, that works out really nicely. There's enough food to work all of these hill tiles. Yeah, let's do that. That gives me a way to get something useful out of these cities. Work the mine for the settler hammer boost. You are 100% correct. I should absolutely do that because then I get the imperialistic bonus. Although it gets divided out on the overflow, but it's still probably worthwhile to get production overflow into the next thing. While I'm here, do I want to mine this tile? I think I do, just because it'll be useful to have a high production tile. All right, so at the moment, I don't seem to be able to go further west in that direction. Although it seems like there's more. Oh, womp womp. That is the risk about scouting workboats. Well, farewell for your service, scouting workboat. It was nice knowing you. That's kind of sad. Maybe someday Wang Khan will build a city over here, and we'll be able to get in that direction. Optics also has a higher priority on this map. Delete it? No. There is a very small chance it won't be attacked, I think. It's not like the Barb will get experience for killing it. So, nah, I'm not going to delete it. Let it have another turn's worth of life. All right, so I'm really curious to see where, if any, iron resources are located, because that could dictate where this settler goes to. Like if there's an iron resource that I haven't grabbed yet. I'm really hoping that there's iron somewhere on this continent, because it's going to suck if I have no copper, no iron, and no horses. A Rome with no iron is sad. Yeah, I mean, okay. Was fairly confident that was going to happen, but... All right. Up next, I think we make our play for a Colossus, head in that direction. We still don't need agriculture because we don't have any of those resources. Horseback riding does nothing for us. Temples, we're not spiritual. Hereditary rules better for happiness. Like, we could push recurrency where our unique building is located, but I think metal casting makes more sense first to try to land Colossus. And by converting Clan Nation into a big production city, we even will have a good spot to build Colossus. All right, what else do we need right now? Let's use that overflow, that big overflow, into another missionary. Or I could use it for... Actually, I might... Maybe I get another worker out, or a or maybe a defensive unit at some point. Here we'll put this into barracks. Iron Northeast. Oh, there we go. An awkward spot, but there is iron, at least. Our borders will not grab that for 50 turns, so that's... we could, We can't put a fort on it, I'm thinking of Civ4. Oh, we did get a religion spread in... No, not one of our cities. It was in one of Wang Khan's cities. Well, we can we can move this X over to this tile, which gets it in range when the borders expand. And I think that this is significant enough that we should send the settler to this tile right here. Send the settler, then send this missionary that we're finishing, so that the borders will pop in 10 turns, and then that gets us iron. So yeah, I think we do that. Because we want iron connected. I want to get some Praetorians in time to smack this Barb city, so I want to get control of this. And then that opens up the possibility of grabbing this spot too. Wang Khan, I mean, there's the possibility of maybe hitting him too. Like if we can get construction before he gets longbows, like I don't know where he is on the tech tree because he doesn't have alphabet or anything like that. But like if he's struggling technologically, we could eat like all we really need is a way to take out his cultural defenses. Praetorians would annihilate archers, which is probably most of what he has. Wang Khan's my friend, it's true. Let's continue scouting for the moment, but long story short, we want to get iron, and I think we prioritize getting iron connected. So we shift that down. We use this missionary that's going to come out of Suez to grab that spot. We're actually going to have 2 missionaries next turn. One is going to Plainsview, one is going to this spot. So this will be a garbage city initially. It'll just be terrible. But we can have one of these workboats maybe circle around and be prepared to grab that once the borders expand, which will be in a little while. Anyway, in the meantime, though, we'll cottage this. I think we work this tile for right now, and then we one pop with the granary next turn, because the food box will be half full, and then figure it out from there. Start roading in that direction. Well, my workers kind of already have other stuff to do. This actually worked out well. 2 fish, 2 furious is going to grow right when the other fish is done. I also am short of workers too, as always. But part of the reason why I'm short of workers is I've been building so many cities. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I mean, 7 cities is pretty good for a non, like, super lush Realms Beyond map. So no special rules for this. We're just playing on a water map with Rhone. Alrighty. So we've got the missionaries. What do I want to do next? So I've got happiness to size 9. I think get a couple more warriors before I connect iron. Or I could try to just do the worker. I certainly do need more workers, but I don't think I want to. I think we'll do the warrior first, simply because I want to grow to the next size. I'm actually going to do this so I can finish the warrior in 1 turn. All right, so one of you is going here, and one of you is going here. And we'll need a name for the Iron City too, if you guys haven't already been thinking about it. All right, so one of you connects that. There we go, 2 fish, 2 furious. And the other one can probably come around here, because it's going to take 10 turns for the borders to expand. But I might just build another workboat. Oh, look, there's a path over there. Never mind, that workboat's going to go off exploring. So it does not appear that there's any route to the west, at least right now, or at least not from this direction. I don't see a route to the west. We would need Wang Khan to build a city here. As soon as he built a city, we'd be able to continue onwards, but for the time being, that avenue is blocked. But it looks like east still has a path through. So, yeah, we should head in that direction. He's using my borders to explore, but then again, I'm using his borders to explore, so I'm certainly not going to cut off that trade route income right now. Finish this? Yes. All right. So work that tile. You should, yeah, be doing this. I want you to grow. So I need you to get back on the boat. Can't do that until next turn, though. All right. And then I'm going to have you mine this tile first, then that tile. So I have a actual production city. Saladin might get a border pup, it's true. I want to defog what's down here, and then I can always head up to this corner and just chill until something happens. But for right now, I want to defog what's down here. Overall, looking pretty good. This city can whip the library as soon as the missionary spreads religion, so we get the organized religion bonus on the whip. Sandlot will be ready to whip its granary this turn. Good thing I went back and double checked that. This is a good time to do it because the food box is half full. What's our break-even? Break-even is right around 50%, so that means we can definitely keep pushing further. We don't have to stop expansion or anything like that. After metal casting, though, I think we do have to push for currency for the extra trade route. Currency, code of laws. We don't need calendar on this map very much. Sarate was the one suggestion for the new city. I know we had a couple others as well. Yeah, calendar is not really a high priority. There's only one resource that would use it, so we can kind of ignore calendar for the time being. All right, so you, we will need a workboat for that city up there. So let's go ahead and do that. Please stop assigning those scientist specialists. And I want you to focus more on growth right now. Although this gets me the workboat in 4 turns, so go with that. All right. Yeah, you don't have a ton to do here, Sandlot. I guess I'll just put you on library for now. So, any other suggestions beyond that one for our new city? So there's another Barb city to go after if we can get some Praetorians. This tile's on the river, so that's the one to prioritize. Alright, for the time being, this galley's just hanging out. Alright, Sarate. That's what the chat's asking for. I'm not sure what that's a reference to. Right. So this is a slow starting city because it needs a border pop in order to be useful. But the iron is too important for us not to grab this spot. So I'll grab that. And then this workboat should be up here in turns. That's the city where Gaius Marius was born in? Okay. All right. Let's see. So we've got that down. I'm trying to think what the next useful thing to do is with the workers. The city, so while the workers are here, I probably should toss down another cottage for the moment while I can. Probably could come up here and help out. I wouldn't mind roading up in this direction either, and maybe chopping some of these forests. Wow, this city's actually not at the happy limit yet. So did we spread religion next turn? I think I'm going to have them road here. And then this guy can road that top, because I do want a road connection over to Two Fish, Two Furious. And this city should whip its lighthouse. Well, I guess I was going to say it hasn't hit its pop limit yet, but the problem is it's out of useful tiles to work, so we'll go ahead and smack it. It's got double whip penalty at the moment, but that's fine. And as soon as the lighthouse is done, I think I'm going to give the good tile back to Clam Nation. Actually, I think I'm going to do that this turn because it'll be able to grow if I do that. Where's, yeah, there we go. All right. So this tile, let's get back to the capital. And then you can take this tile. So we're going to be shifting more of this production tiles over there. And that looks good there. The city is still going to grow. And then I want it to grab this tile next, although it has to grow to get there. I'll build the barracks, and then I'm going to start building, I think, some archers for actual defenders. I might stick another unit in here for another unit or two for military police, because I want to have enough to work these 2 tiles, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hill tiles. So that's size 7. Well, I guess you can get to size 7 without more military police, so I guess that's okay. And then, of course, we're going to run, we're going to want the forge in here quickly so we can try to build Colossus. We'll probably 3-pop whip the forge and then build Colossus. I don't have forest to chop, but that's okay. So again, I don't really have any need to push out a great scientist. It's just not as useful on this map because there's no there's no huge bureaucracy capital that's going to benefit from having an academy. So it's not to say that it's pointless or anything like that, but it's just a much lower priority. And then this city will probably just grow and then whip its library. Anyway, I definitely have enough money now to finish research on metal casting. Or actually, I might not, but we should be able to get close with that. A missionary for Vicina de Mare is also quite useful. We also need to keep spreading religion. Like, Plainsview is going to spread the religion here, and then I can have it build missionaries for other cities. Vercingetorix has almost finished its warrior. And then I don't know what I'll do with it after that. Figure something out for Vercingetorix. Anyway, so library, go ahead and whip that. We get a lot of overflow with the organized religion bonus. I'll use that for a missionary, which probably will go to the sand lot. Either that or Two Fish, Too Furious, one of the two. And you should not be working that tile. I want you to grow. Oh, hey, we found Saladin. I was right, it was Saladin. Well, he seems to be doing even worse than Wang Khan. He won't sign open borders. Oh, that's could be a problem. He's annoyed because of our religion. Well, time to go ahead and split our espionage points. I wish we could have seen more on that trade screen. But that was all that was available. Okay, I don't... Well, I was going to say I don't need you working these two tiles, but the thing is, the city's at the happy cap already, so kind of might as well work these two tiles. Might as well. So there should be 4 AIs on a map of this size. So I think the next target is probably currency over courthouses, just for the extra trade route, because trade route plus market is probably more useful than the courthouses. That's always a long-term, that's always been a long-running debate in terms of Civ4, is do you go for the courthouses or do you go for a currency? Personally, currency I think is usually better because the courthouses don't do anything until you build them, whereas currency you instantly get the extra bonus from the trade route. You don't even have to do anything. Every city just gets it immediately. We do get cheap courthouses, that's true, and that can swing the decision, absolutely. That can be a factor. Also, are your build queues tied up? Are you running out of stuff to build in your cities? That sort of thing does matter too. That said, I still think currency is probably better for us, but I could be wrong. All right, so I'm gonna have these workers start roading towards this city because I want them to have the iron ready to go once the borders expand. They can also chop into the city, especially now that it got the organized religion pickup. That means the Eastern Island's available for Saladin. Yeah, we'll need to explore this and get some units going so that we can contest for these barb cities. This is not on a hill, so it's actually easier to capture. So how close are we to circumnavigation, just out of curiosity? Because if Saladin's over there, it can't be that much further. Can I zoom out and get a sense from that? I'm getting dizzy. Okay, there we go. That's how far it is. That's how much further we need to go for circumnavigation. And Saladin we know is just to the north of that. Okay, that gives us an idea. Gives us an idea of the size of the map. And I still haven't gotten exploration to the north of this area yet either, which I've been delinquent in doing. But yeah, I'm still trying to push out more cities. I still have multiple spots to grab on this island. Maybe Plainsview can squeeze out a settler just because it grows very quickly and settlers are cheap for me. Like I said, this is going to be a missionary. I think I will work this tile just so I can get the missionary done more quickly. I think I'd like this for Two Fish, Two Furious. In particular, if I can get this done before I whip the granary would be nice. Because that way I can get a 2-pot whip with a lot of overflow into the lighthouse. Or no, I put the light overflow into Moai. Any overflow goes into Moai because you can't whip Moai directly, but you can put the overflow into it. And these guys are coming up here to get prepared for this city. Alright, well there's another iron resource. I wonder if there's an Arctic connection down here. Alright, anyway, so we'll get the barracks done here, and then I'll start just, for the moment, I'll just build some archers, because I don't have iron connected. But, like, build some archers and just send them to cities like this, so that they have actual defenders. You can move into this city now. I don't think you're needed over there. This warrior, I think, has the area on lockdown. Wang Khan also has a Suez, it looks like. Does he? Oh, yeah, he just founded a city down here. You're right. I missed that. Looks like he does. All right, Suez is growing. It's back at the happy cap again. Also, what are you doing? This is why you got to watch your city so they don't do dumb stuff like that. Like, stop it. Stop working that tile. I want you to grow. And if you hit the happiness cap here, then just build another warrior. Because we've got hereditary rule. All right, I already looked there. This city is just growing. You can grow onto that tile. It doesn't need cottages again here. But I could always I might just 2-pop whip. This city would be a good candidate to just 2-pop whip a worker as soon as it hits, like when it hits size 4, 2-pop whip the worker, because that would get me another unit over there. All right, so yeah. Archer for right now. We are currently at 8 base production per turn. So first and Getterix built a warrior for itself. Let's get why don't you do another warrior, honestly? Maybe you can whip a library for yourself in time. If it can get to size 6, it can whip a library. It's a long way away from that, and that would also expand the borders. Alright, so we would need construction to get across the road there. Two Fish, Two Furious, I think I wanted to chop. But I was hoping to chop after the missionary was done. Well, that's okay if I... No, I wanted to chop and then I wanted to whip after the missionary arrived. Oh well. Well, this looks like a larger continent over here, or at least wider. Or north-south, anyway. I wonder if it would have been better to go around in the other direction. Oh, well. Oh, hey, Barb Galley. I'm not terribly interested in fighting with you, so I think I'm just going to head in the opposite direction, if that's okay. Alright, so next up, road this tile, because we can road it before it's in our borders. How long until they pop? 8 turns, that's a little ways away. But yeah, we can road that. Would some great people points not be better than work? I mean, you can make the argument, but like, the scientist isn't going to pop at the moment. Like, the thing that's going to pop first is this great merchant. Scientist is a long way away. I don't know. I feel like working the water tiles, getting the extra commerce, continuing to push growth is good. So I would get a 10% bonus, because I would be defending on coastal tiles. By the way, I think that barb ship can still hit me, but... so I would have about 70% odds to win, which is not great. Like, those are decent odds, but not... Still odds I would prefer to avoid if I can. Alright, overall though, things are looking pretty good. Like, if we look at the demos, you can see I'm still really far ahead in food. And looking good on the research front, too. I'm not even that far behind in soldiers. The AI definitely does not handle water maps great. Alright, yeah, I thought it might be able to catch up to me. Alright, well, we did win, so that's nice. As I said, the odds were in our favor, but not, like, enormously so. Alright, well, I'll finish that unit, too. You are coming up here to be ready to connect this. And I'm hoping that's Wang Khan. Oh, hello. Goes further down here than I thought. So he founded... That is probably the Code of Laws religion. It could also... No, never mind. He got a great prophet. He probably light bulbed the theology religion. Let's see, because I think I can research theology. Nope, it is not theology. He did get the Code of Laws religion. So he has Code of Laws. So there might still be more down here in this direction. Actually, you know what? I think I'm going to road this tile first, because that way this missionary can spend one turn moving here, and then move 1-2 into this city. Yeah, I think I'll go ahead and do that. Hey, look, an agriculture resource. I think that's the first one I've seen this game. It's been very low on them. I guess Wang Khan has some in his territory, but, like, it's not a lot. Fish. He's been having trouble connecting resources, I guess. Oh, this city's on... Oh, right. Needed a unit in there, didn't I? Well, the one that's coming out of the capital can head there, I guess. Or this city unit probably is an even better call, because the capital needs its own military police unit. The Two Fish, Two Furious is going to need a unit pretty soon, too. Alright. So I guess I need another warrior now, because this one will be heading out on duty sooner or later. Can we whip Two Fish? Yes, we can. I was hoping to wait until I got the missionary in, because I would get the organized religion bonus. So that was kind of my hope. Alright, it looks like that does not go any further. Oh, and I let the city grow into unhappy. Well, it'll be out of unhappiness in a turn, so that's okay. Actually, the archer will finish, and that'll be temporary military police. Because I'll finish the archer and then start on a forge. Can probably whip the forge. So we should be able to finish that this turn. Yeah, definitely can finish that. Alright, so you now go ahead and mine this tile next. Managing happiness. Alright. Sneaking around there. So borders pop in 6 turns. So I'll be there like 2 turns ahead of time, which is perfectly fine. Alright, so does it make sense to whip this city this turn? Or I can... No, it's better to wait for organized religion to pop up and then whip the city. Probably better to work this. Yeah, because we'll still be able to get the... Well, I want to make sure I get the 2-pop whip. I don't want a 1-pop whip. So, just for safety's sake, let's work this tile. Because I have to make sure it's... If I get over like 23 production, it'll be too much. And I won't be able to 2-pop whip it. So yeah. Also, you don't have to work that tile now. Okay. This city, I was going to say should be ready to whip, but I was like, wait a minute. I put a double whip on happiness penalty on this city. This city might be a good one to run specialist with the library, because it has a lot of food, but it doesn't have a lot of tiles. Although I guess once the library's done, it'll be able to work. It'll be able to pop borders and work more tiles, so that'll help.
And them that take the sword
All right, next up, Still don't need any of this stuff. So next up is math, en route to currency and code of laws. I guess we have to do currency first anyway, because I don't want to research priesthood just to get to code of laws. All right. Let's get that forge going. So I can whip this next turn. Nice. And because of that, I will push growth this turn. And then we'll get started on Colossus. All right, so I finished the missionary. So we'll just go on to the forge then. Yeah, forge is next. That way, when we have forge plus organized religion, the buildings are much cheaper than they would be otherwise. Much cheaper. All right. So chop. And I'm still hoping to try and get the circumnavigation bonus. No one has claimed it yet. Alright, mind that. You just chill here for a turn until that whip on happiness is gone. Keep the Sandlot from revolting. For the time being, anyway. Now, as far as these guys go, we still have 5 turns. We still have a little while until the borders expand, so I think we will look to chop this and cottage in the area until that's ready to this borders pop. Maybe this guy chops this forest tile. Like, they can each split up and chop a forest tile for 3 turns, I think. And then still get there. Tech trading is not necessarily easier or harder, it's just different, if that makes sense. And I think I'm gonna just whip out another settler from Suez, because I want to keep pushing expansion, maybe for this spot. Of course, then I need a workboat, but one of these cities can grab a workboat for it. Because I don't have a missionary ready to go to found this spot. I do want this spot, but I need a missionary for it. Otherwise, it's not going to be useful. And this city, I think I wanted to... How much more whip duration does it have? I think this city I wanted to get another worker out. Like, the library is just there to accumulate production. I think next turn I switch to a worker and then 2-pop whip that to completion. The gems are a definitely something we want. The happiness would certainly be a big gain. But again, I need a missionary. I just don't really have... Like, I could toss a city down here, but what's it going to do? It's useless for right now. It makes much more sense to put a city here and then have the workboat connect the clams. But I do want to grab that spot in the near future. Again, I'm always like trying to juggle a bunch of different things. So now the whip on happiness wore off there. All right. So we've explored Wang Khan's island. It's about the same size as ours, maybe a little bit smaller. He's going to be out of room to expand pretty soon. Anyway, so I think I'll heal here for a couple turns. Then I'm going to move up to this corner and try to get contact with Saladin. Again, I'd love it if I could get open borders with him, but he really doesn't seem interested. All right, so let's hit that forge. Boom, there we go. Get as much food overflow as possible, and then we'll start on Colossus. I don't have forest to chop into this, but oh, I don't have copper either. Ugh. That's going to make it a lot more expensive than normal. Well, I guess we'll still try for it, I guess. And this archer can head out to another city. Still too valuable not to try for it. All right, worker. Yeah, you can just chill for right now for a couple turns. Would it be possible to get the gems? I mean, it's the same problem, right? You'd still need a border expansion to get the gems. So that wouldn't solve the problem. Although it's a nice thought. All right, so now we can 2-pop whip this. This is just about perfect because if we were at 24, 23, or 24, no, 23 production, this would be a one pop whip, but we want the two pop whip because we got lots of food. It's production that's scarce here. So we'll get that huge overflow and we'll put it all into Moai. So this is going to be, what, 37 overflow? And we'll put that into Moai. So that which will get doubled. So we should get about 60-ish production into Moai. Okay, I really hope that this isn't just a dead end. I hope this connects somewhere. So I'm still hoping to find a route through here. Like we can see that's how much further we need to get for circumnavigation. It's quite a ways. Might not end up getting there until... might have to wait till optics to get circumnavigation, but we're going to give it a shot from here. Next up is definitely construct Code of Laws and Currency in the opposite order. Currency first, then Code of Laws. That's what we're headed for. All right, so Forge done. 35 turns. Could be worse. There we go. Growth in 1 turn. So base production 4. But yeah, we'll just scroll onto these tiles. So there's our big Moai overflow. Yep, 67 production. So we just have to do this a couple more times. Next up, we'll try to do, well, we can't 2-pop whip for the lighthouse because we are organized, but we can whip for it. Still searching for a route to the east. Wait, is that a double Barb City island? That's a double Barb City. Holy cow. Well, I know where our Praetorians are heading first. In fact, I think I might want to start positioning a galley over there because the galleys don't move very fast. Wow, okay. The continent of Barblandia, indeed. Yeah, that's definitely a double Barb City. I don't know if there's any resources there, but Barb Cities almost always spawn where there are resources, so I'm going to assume that there's something there. Okay, so I also need a workboat for this city that's going to be popping out shortly. Otherwise, this city is truly useless without a workboat for it. Maybe Suez can put its overflow into that. Yeah, I think Suez overflows into a workboat for that spot. Unfortunately, it's kind of slow movement over there. I don't suppose I could get a workboat out of one of these cities. No, we need this going into Moai. 112 production into Moai, so halfway there already. And Plainsview, I don't think. No, that's 8 turns away, and I don't want to whip it just for the workboat. I'd rather whip it for the forge first. Alright, so it'll have to come out of Suez, and it's going to be delayed. Not much I can do about that. This is before I hit my cities for a round of Praetorians, which is something that's going to be coming soon, because I want to take those Barb cities. I only probably need 3 Praetorians to take Cassite. I might even delay the Colossus temporarily. How much do they cost? 45? That's a pretty easy 2-pop whip. Yeah, I think I'll pause settler production out of the capital and get a couple of Praetorians. And I think I'm going to use... The fact that there's double Barb cities over there, like I was planning on hitting this Barb city first, but double Barb cities over there means that has priority. So I'm going to start moving this over here. All right, you just heal for 2 turns for safety's sake. Chop that. Whip that. Also will help deal with the problem of having too many tiles to work, or not enough tiles to work. I could have saved the chop for one more turn and not put it into Moai, but putting it into Moai is not exactly a bad use of that chop, so I don't feel too bad about that. Seems Barbs are doing better than Saladin. Maybe. Alright, so there's our settler. Alright, overflow into the workboat. I want to get that done quickly because that city will be useless until the workboat's done. Alright, how many turns until this pops? 2 more turns. So Saladin got his shrine. Alright, I'm going to move here. Then that'll allow them to road this tile together and then be ready to mine this as soon as the iron's connected. Okay, you should probably come up onto this tile. Alright, so you need 2 Fish, 2 Furious. Cancel out of the Moai build for right now. Build the lighthouse instead. And that probably is the best tile to work for right now. Just because... or I could, you know what, I could do this. I can have you do this. As the camera would stop jumping around. You do this. There we go. You can just build you can build the lighthouse to almost done, and then when it's like 1 turn from being completed, we'll whip it, and then the overflow will go into Moai again. Probably do the same thing with the forge. Alright, so this city is on a hill. But we can certainly take Cassite first. That's not even on a hill. Heal up, and then try to take Navajo. I mean, archers aren't going to do that much against City Raider Praetorians. So I think I want to send this to 2 Fish, 2 Furious because it's going to need a unit for happiness soon. Sadly, I'm going to get this here way before the workboat is ready. Now, do I want this chop to go into the library or do I want it to go into something else? Library is probably good because I need a border pop here, and the library can supply that, so that's probably fine. Yeah, 2 Fish will be a nice production city. The fact that it has 2 hill tiles is really nice, because like both of these will go to 2 Fish, 2 Furious. It has tons of food with the double fish and the lighthouse. These are both 6 food tiles with that. So yeah, it should be quite good at that. Is Plainview ready to whip this? Yeah, I think this is the right time to whip it. Maybe we can put the overflow into a workboat. I don't know if it's going to have overflow or not. No overflow. But this was the right turn to whip it, because it was about to grow. I do have double whip on happiness, but only for a short time. Maybe I can use this city for either another missionary or another worker or something like that. And we should be good to do math next. Okay. Capturing 2 cities will not crash our economy at all. We've got intercontinental trade routes. We've got currency coming online. We'll be just fine. Like, we should be totally fine. We're just continuing to expand. So it's turn 100. This was my plan, was to do the first 100 turns and then stop. So let's just do a comparison with the AIs. Winecon has 5 cities. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have 8 cities. 8 cities is pretty good for a non-tweaked map. So pretty good, I'd say. Let's just check in here. So let's do this. Continue pushing for Colossus. I think with the forge requirement, we're relatively safe. Like, I'm not too worried about the AI grabbing this spot in the near future. So we'll add this and then this. At size 7, I'll add both of these. And then we'll add 7 base productions. That'll be 14, 21 per turn with the buildings and Confucianism. So that should be, yeah, that should be pretty good. We'll grow this for 3 more turns, work the double hill tiles. And because, you know, I can swap this onto 1, but I want to get that growth in 3 turns. And then we're building it at 21 production per turn, and it'll be like 8 more turns. So maybe like 12 to 13 more turns to finish the Colossus. That should be pretty safe. Let's see. So capital, cranking out the workboat. Once we get the iron mine, we'll grab some Praetorians, grab the Barb cities, and then think about maybe hitting someone else. I don't think Winecon's a good target to go after just yet. He is protective. He's got a lot of culture. But down the road, I mean, his land's kind of there for the taking down the road. That city will be unhappy. I guess you're right. Well, we can always shuffle a unit over from the capital. That's a good point. We actually have excess happiness right now, so we can shuffle a unit over from the capital. But yeah, that'll be the next priority is grabbing these barb cities, continuing to explore. I need to get ships up in the north. I never can seem to get enough workboats to supply what I need. Maybe this ship can come. If there's no passage to the east, this ship can scoot around and maybe grab this spot. One of these two, or this workboat will get over there. Unfortunately, I just can't get a workboat over there fast enough. Like these cities are developing nicely. If we want to look at the demos, so we don't have enough to see Saladin's bar graphs, and I should probably stop running with. Let's just put them all on Saladin for the time being. I probably should have done that a couple turns ago, just so we can get bar graphs on him. With us being organized and getting cheap courthouses, we should have an espionage edge in this game. So score, GNP, we're ahead of Wang Khan in GMP, which is nice. He's ahead of us in production, but not by that much. This is the more significant bar graph. I am killing him in food, like crushing him in food. Power, I'm behind, but considering that my army is all warriors and archers, I mean, I have 10 warriors, 2 galleys, and 2 archers. Okay, I have not really started to build a military just yet. There's definitely a connection to the east because Saladin got there. He might have come down from this direction, though. Still, you're right. He had to have come from somewhere. So we should keep searching. There's got to be a connection somewhere. Yeah, it's setting up really nice. I really shouldn't be ahead in score on turn 100 on Immortal. But as we said, the AI doesn't handle water maps great. So this is probably playing more like an Emperor game than an Immortal game. But anyway, I hope you're enjoying this. We will pick this up next week. We'll continue. But this is a great place to stop because we're 100 turns in. And it was fun. So thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for all your suggestions, and we'll continue this next week. Have a great weekend, all. I will see you guys soon. Take care.